Are you still being hit on by a puppet? Wish I could have joined them. I love making mud pies.
Not anywhere near my crime scene, you're not. All they do is stare at you, right into your soul.
Look, you're a ginger. You don't have a soul. Guys with frilly neck ruffles are next on my research list.
Do you have any idea how dangerous polar bears are? Captive Turnabout.
A prison.
Bell. A shadow.
What is this music?
Suspense. Flickering lights. Blood stains.
Oh my god!
Oh no, a dead bodyguard!
I mean, he's a murderer, so I don't really care.
A dog!
A dog.
March 27, 10:16 a.m. Detention Center. Visitors room.
Still no sign of them, huh?
Yeah. How do they intend to keep us waiting?
Now, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm sure the god will bring him in any second now. No, we got a situation. It's night. He's been killed.
What? Killed? In a detention center?
Come on, Mr. Edgeworth. What are you waiting for?
Right. Guard, take us to the scene of the crime at once. So it didn't happen in the holding cells. Sure, that was where he was being held.
Oh my god. Look at those mustaches.
Damn!
In the vault.
Wait, Agnes. Doesn't this all lead to a prison proper? Yes.
You mean those other cells aren't part of the prison?
Not exactly, no. Those are the detention centers holding cells. That's where the defendants are kept while they're awaiting trial. You're beyond this door, so it's already a different purpose. Yeah, it's where the people who are convicted serve out their time.
It went too quick. I couldn't pause it.
That's not right. But he's dead. How could this have happened? How did he wind up inside the prison proper? The detention center and the prison are separated not only by two heavy doors, but also a lengthy corridor. That would have been a long way to wander, especially for a detainee.
So, likely went through the office area and then whatever the blue is to get there.
Very likely.
Well, we in the blue.
No, I think we're further on in the prison. We're going to examine the scene of the crime carefully if we want to get to the bottom of this.
Time to inspect every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Yeah, why is there a whip?
These tops are rather colorful.
That is not what I was looking at. They kind of stand out in a room like this, don't they?
They certainly don't look like they belong in a prison.
Look, there's a whip on top of them. You know who that reminds me of, right?
There's a rope in your knight's body too.
Speaking of which, want to see my super stealthy?
Rope escape trick? Thanks, but I'll let you know when I'm in need of saving.
Is that?
Oh, I've seen one of these in your office, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm sure you have, Detective. It's a pocket chest set. The victims, I'd imagine. A rubber glove.
Yep, just the one though.
Let's examine it in more detail.
Ooh.
It's red on the other side. Oh, it has a name.
Inmate use only.
It's mud all over it.
Maybe the prisoners were making mud pies? Wish I could have joined them. I love making mud pies.
Not anywhere near my crime scene, you're not. Fingers are covered in blood on this side. I think we can safely assume that this glove was dropped sometime after Knight's blood had been spilled. At the very least, whoever it was that dropped it must have seen the body. You there!
Yes, sir?
Have you seen that glove before?
Yes, sir. The prisoners wear them for work. Prisoners issued with those gloves are under strict orders to keep them in their cells. They aren't allowed to take them out without permission. And we always check.
The body is partially covered by a dirt-stained top.
And there's rope on top of it.
Was Knight tied up with a rope somehow? Take a look under the sheet as well. Let's say that's blood.
Oh my god.
There's something on his finger.
Let's take a closer look, Mr. Edgeworth. It's a ring! And an expensive looking one at that.
Don't even think about it, Kay.
What? I didn't say anything. I think it's still just the... No, it's two.
A bloody top and pile of tops. These tops have a pretty distinctive design, and in fact...
It's the same design as the bloody top around Mr. Knight's body.
Yes, you took the words right out of my mouth.
Aha! That'll teach you to be so careless, Mr. Edgeworth.
Not a bad bit of evidence gathering. Let's not get carried away, Detective. That's one thing we still haven't found. I see no sign of a murder weapon anywhere. You're right! I didn't even think of that! Come now, Detective. These are basic investigative principles we're talking about here.
Don't worry, Gummy! It didn't cross my mind either! Who the hell are you? Excusez-moi, but this is the scene of the crime, right?
You're...
Wait a second, are you? No way! Those piercing eyes, that furrowed brow.
Mr. Fender. This has been far too long.
I know, right? But even after all this time, I'd know that deep bow anywhere, and that neckwear obs.
I like this guy.
Manfred von Karma, the man, the legend. Gotta say, I didn't expect to see you here.
What are you talking about, pal? This is Mr. Edgeworth, not that old geezer.
Edgeworth? Wow! Guess that explains the fresh face. Can't blame a guy for mixing you two up, though. You're the spitting image of the old devil in his days.
I see you haven't changed. How many years has it been?
Man, good question. But who's counting, eh? Been away traveling so long I lost track. You know how it is. But you know what I do remember? You betraying everything you were supposed to stand for. Whoa! Where did that come from? And who are you, anyway?
This is Eddie Fender. He's a defense attorney.
Enchanté, as they say. Fender's the name and defending's the game. I'm a bit of an ace attorney.
And why are you here, Mr. Fender?
Whoops! Almost forgot this is your scene. Keeping the defense out is strategy number 1 in the Von Karma playbook, after all, isn't it?
I take it you are Mr. Knight's attorney?
Guilty as charged, Your Honor. Well, I was supposed to be anyway.
I love he's cool.
He's 36.
Damn, okay, he's good looking for a 36-year-old. So the victim has asked you to represent him?
Sure did. We were supposed to have a little chat today.
As was I, but a guard showed up instead and told us that his body had been found.
I'm as bummed about it as you. Even brought him some weenies to cheer him up. What are you doing here anyway? Don't tell me you wanted to hear Knight's side. Von Karma always was more of a convict the defendant at all costs guy. He didn't teach you that?
That was a long time ago. Have you met with your client previously?
Yes, indeed, Your Honor. Just yesterday, in fact. The Bronxster called me the minute he was arrested.
The Bronxster?
According to him, you really made a nuisance of yourself.
Not a kind word was spoken, I'm sure. Well, sticks and stones and all that.
Boy, did he not like you. Just talk to you something fierce. Can't say I didn't join in the fun, though.
Tell me, what do you know about the scene of the crime?
Huh? Oh, this room? None, my dude. What do you know about it? I'll give you 3 choices.
It's a recreation room. Is it a recreation room?
Whoa! I don't even want to know how you spend your spare time, Edgeworth. But I guess there's plenty here you can play with if you use your imagination. Probs. Now, let's see what the answer key has to say, shall we? Oh no, you got it wrong. This is actually a workshop.
Okay, I guess...
That was not an option!
Yeah, I guess the idea is you cannot predict what it is. So all the options you gave me were wrong. How infantile.
The cons come here to perform various duties. They can learn new skills too. Bank some qualifications when they're back on the street.
Let's see. And how is access to this room controlled? Who has the key?
Chill out, Edgeworth. I don't have all the answers. My man over there probably does, though. Right, compadre? Yes, sir. The workshops aren't locked with physical keys. Their doors are fitted with sensors instead.
What kind of sensors?
Inmates are issued with special bracelets, sir. When they walk through a workshop door, the sensor checks their bracelet. And if they're not supposed to be there, ding-a-ling-a-ling, an alarm sounds. If they let it ring for too long, then bzzz, they get a real shock, if you know what I mean. And if they try to break or remove the bracelet, a shock 3 times worse than that. What? That's brutal! If they wish to pass through a door like this one, prisoners need to be accompanied by a guard. We disable the sensors for them and let them in.
Have any prisoners used this workshop today?
No, sir. No one's been in here for days. I'd know if they had. So somebody disabled the sensor.
Very likely so, yeah. Wrist. There's no wristband.
But he's also not supposed to even be a prisoner.
Yep. This be related to the evidence somehow.
Eureka!
This piece of... Okay, apparently not. Is it the other hand?
I mean,
Only-
the glove shouldn't be in here.
Yeah, only one glove. Nope.
No? It says glove, I think. Maybe it's for the door? Because it's a... Is it? There we go.
Okay, apparently.
No, because it's an inmate use only thing and no inmate's been in here.
That is true. Prisoners aren't able to come and go from this workshop as they please. It also seems would detect their bracelets, and the alarm would sound. What's more, according to the guard, no prisoners were authorized to be in this room at all today. Yet, here we have a rubber glove of the kind issued to the inmates.
So where did the glove come from, sir?
I don't know, Detective. Not yet, anyway. All I know for now is that the glove is a valuable piece of evidence. Yay! You! Apart from prisoners and guards, who else has access to this room?
No one, sir. This is a prison after all. Prisoners and guards are pretty much all there is. Come on, don't play us like that, friend. We both know that's not true. You know as well as I do that prisoners and guards aren't the only ones who can come in here. Huh? Oh, do you mean? But sir, they're...
Oh, it's emotional support pets.
Here, the humans share their space with some special friends.
Animals?
Yep, furred and feathered fellows of all shapes and sizes. Gauze filled me in on how it came about. Seems they decided to try a little experiment in animal therapy a few years back. The cons are assigned a critter each, a buddy to help keep their spirit up. Really? Wow! That sounds like so much fun! Plus, inmates can even earn pet care qualifications if they go through some job training with the animals.
Let me get this straight. Are you saying these animals can wander freely around the prison?
You know those sensors on the doors? They detect the prisoner's bracelets and sound the alarm when somebody goes walkabout. Well, for our furry friends, it's the other way around. They're fitted with microchips that open doors right away. Right up. Wow.
In this institution where the humans are caged, the animals are free to roam to their heart's content.
They're not completely free, though. They can't leave the prison proper, for one thing. No sensors on that big mother of a door out, you see. Ah.
What's that tingling sound? Just look at that thing. Is that a bill around its neck?
I would say missile's better. Bye. Why does the rabbit have red eyes? Like, why is it a demon?
It's because it's an albino rabbit. Albino rabbits have red eyes.
Alrighty then. You've met the menagerie. What's next?
Guess we're gonna interview some witnesses, right, sir?
Indeed, we need more information regarding what was happening around the time that the body was found.
And let's start with that guy. Hey, you down the cell.
Hello. You're wondering if you might be able to tell us anything about this morning's incident?
Is anyone else a little afraid of this guy? Not a big talker, huh? It's alright, man. I'm on your side here. Let's start with a handshake, huh? Maybe a hug to break the ice? Hey, I get it, man. Everyone's the hugging type. I'm cool with it.
What?
Oh my god.
Round 1, 10 reps each.
What?
What is this man up to? Your name?
On the blue corner, it's Rocco D259, Carcerato. Come on if I keep moving, do you, boss? Fighter can't let his heart rate drop, see? Gotta make weight before a fight, boss. Won't even make it to the ring if you don't.
So is the bear part of your training too? Haha, looks kinda like an apron. It's so cute.
Ain't nothing cute about Teddy. Kid's my partner, see? This here polar bear keeps me on my toes. How do you have a polar bear cop in here? Do you have any idea how dangerous polar bears are?
Where were you and Teddy at the time of the incident?
Come on, boss. I ain't no stoolie. I don't know enough know-how.
I'll be the judge of that. Please answer the question.
You punch drunk or something, boss? I told you, I don't know a sip. Ugh.
Won't play ball. Alright, let's see exactly what you do and don't know. Shall we, Mr. Cazzetto? Right. Now, let's analyze the state of play. He loves a boxing stand and he's on a high alert. I guess it's that things won't go well if I push too hard at such moments.
Mind chess. Commence!
Tell me about your day so far. Why don't you start by telling me what you've done today? You will answer me, Mr. Carcerato.
What? You want a shot at the champ? Is that it? Then put him up, pal. Throwing in a towel already? That's gotta be a record. Fisticuffs is hardly my style, but I'm more than happy to take you on in a game of chess. Incidentally, don't you get tired ducking and diving like that all the time? You think I don't got the stamina, kid? Ooh, just you try me. I ain't tired, not today, nor ever. Especially not today. Took it real easy this morning, having some quiet cell time, hardly broke a sweat. Really? You look pretty sweaty to me. Give me a break, will ya? I'm done talking, okay? I'm tired. Yeah, real tired. You may have kept your boxing skills sharp, Mr. Caserato, but I'm afraid your lying needs quite a bit of work. Tired? Really? I hardly think that's possible. Especially after you just told me about your quiet cell time this morning. Ugh. We gotta be careful here, Teddy. When this guy lands, he lands.
Oh, you can just remove those whenever you want.
They're training weights. That's what they are. He's hiding something, I'm sure of it.
Well, duh.
Do you remember what you were doing at the time of the incident? I was, catching some C's. We both was. The incident happened only a short while ago. You seem wide awake, all things considered. Fighter's gotta be able to get up quick and when he's down, but he needs his beauty sleep too. Builds muscle. Is that so? Then I apologize for waking you. I have read that rest is an important part of any boxer's training regime. I don't say. So be surprised you're savvy when it comes to the fight game, huh? Who knew? Interesting. How do you know I'm a prosecutor? I don't remember telling you. You've been eavesdropping, haven't you? You've been listening to every word we said out here in the corridor. This means you went to sleep, and that you are lying again. You're good, kid. Caught me clean with that one. Alright, I admit it. I wasn't catching those C's. What? A guy can't work on his cell no more without lawyers getting involved? Was the man taking care of himself a crime now? The fact that we now know he was awake is an important development. Did you notice anything strange around the time of the incident? What do you mean strange? Haven't you noticed yet? You're backed into a corner here. Got a load of this guy, Teddy. Think he's got a champ in the back foot. Guess I better knock some sense into him. Curses! I should have picked my words more wisely. Answer the question. Tell me what was going on around that time. Wish I could help you, boss. But I was asleep. We both was. No, you weren't. Enough of your barefaced lies. You weren't asleep. You were exercising. You told me as much yourself. Oof. Counterpunch, huh? Just that one coming. Seems I had you on the ropes, Mr. Caserato. It's time to come clean about what you know. Alright. You don't gotta shout about it. Stomping around like you owned the place. Teddy and his pals have been scared enough of this morning already. The animals are scared of something. You've done well to endure this long, but I fear you'll soon be out for the count. You said the animals have been scared enough already. Implies something happened here earlier. Well, what was it, Mr. Caserato? Quit it, will ya? I'm getting shellacked here. Fine. Somebody yelled, okay? Real loud, real scared. Got all the little guys scared too. Yeah, laugh it up, Mr. Big Shot Lawyer. Let me see you do the same thing in the ring. Checkmate. Mine just checkmate. I think we've now established that you know more than you're letting on, don't you? Fine, I'll talk.
You did it, Mr. Edgeworth?
Let's not get carried away, Kay. Our work here has only just begun.
Hey, can we call a timeout here for a sec, guys? There's something super big I need to say. It's just, wow, it's like fate brought us here today. After all these years, Edgeworth. And it's a real privilege watching how you work. Eye-opening stuff, in fact. Just thought you should know I'll be telling you-know-who what you've become. Oh no, he's gonna tell Voldemort.
Report whatever you wish to whoever you wish. Just do it on somebody else's time.
Whatever you say, boss man. But I think he should know at least. You know, how you've been living your life since you signed on to doing things that Von calm away. After all, you've disappointed him enough for one lifetime already. Am I right?
Alright. It was a show, finished right around 10 a.m. Came back here after, gave me some training. Leastways, I tried to, but I got to the count of 2 before somebody screams, "What the? Ah!" Guy was hollering and howling, crying for help. What can I do? I'm locked up in here, right? So, I tunes it out and I get back to work. I find it curious that you would pay so little heed to a desperate cry for help. He's a prisoner, Edgeworth! Like I say, boss, what can I do? Besides, this is the joint. Don't nobody thank nobody for getting involved in what ain't none of their business.
You mentioned training, Mr. Caserato. Can help but notice how well equipped your cell is.
There's a guy. The Fixer, they call him.
There was a scream, but this says killed instantly.
It killed instantly.
So we'll just try that first.
Are you listening carefully, Mr. Caserato? The victim died from a wound to the throat, and very quickly at that. He had neither the time nor the ability to scream as you claim he did.
But this must have been a scream! You said there was!
He said there was.
Quit looking so smug, will ya? Fine, I admit it, I didn't hear nothing, alright? But the guy in the next cell did. He told me so.
Polly? They locked Polly up!
Oh, I see
Huh? What do you want? I heard a scream. What of it? We came back from the show and they put us in our cells. Same as always. Then, just like I told this guy, I heard it. A scream. A real scary one.
Scary how exactly?
Didn't tell him this part, I guess. But it was kind of like, eek! Someone, anyone, come quickly! He's... something like that.
Why didn't you hear the scream yourself, Mr. Caserato?
What, do you think I did a crime or something? Huh? From inside of this here cell? Guy died over in the workshop in case you forgot. Well, yeah, it does seem a little weird now that you mention it.
He's right. Neither of us could have done it. Cause let me tell you, if I could get out of this here cage and murder somebody, you'd all be toast. Holy shit.
I almost forgot that these men are hardened criminals. Well, I won't be doing that again anytime soon.
Oh my god.
Okay. A judge?
Who are you?
A female judge? Ooh. Order in the court.
Who died to make you boss of me, huh? Can't you see we're kind of busy here?
Hush now. Silence is golden. By the power vested in me, I hereby sentence you to blissful silence. Praise be. A simple life awaits you. No money, no possessions. May the goddess of justice watch over you now and always. Wait, is she a priest too? God, if you would.
Looks like you'll be spending the night in solitary, buddy.
What? Come on, please, boss, any place but there!
There's no need to be afraid, my child. If anything, you should rejoice.
I don't know whether to like her or not.
This is a blessing, a chance to redeem yourself, to be reborn.
You're the villain, aren't you?
She is so villain-coded.
No! No!
The animation!
And you are? Verity Gavel, at your service. It is my honor to bear the title of judge and to work at the pleasure of the law. I come bearing a message from the Committee for Prosecutorial Excellence.
The committee is a panel of 11 people whose job it is to keep our beloved prosecutors honest. In other words, they make sure people like Edgeworth here don't cross the professional line. They did so well with that with Von Karma.
Oh yeah, totally.
The panel is comprised of people from both legal and political professions.
Thanks for coming to see us like this. Speaking for myself, it's a real honor to meet you. It's always great to hang with a judicial compadre. Come on, bring it in and chillax. We're all friends here. Overruled. I love her voice.
Need I remind you that the committee has a long-standing relationship with the Bar Association?
Hey, I didn't mean anything by it. I was just trying to lighten the mood, okay? So, your job is to find bad prosecutors and punish them?
Precisely, my child. Praise be to the goddess of justice for bestowing her gift of insight unto you.
Are you the villain?
She is so villain-coded. The committee has the power to remove problematic prosecutors from cases.
Either she's the villain or the dude behind her was, because he was another unique model.
And he had a very smug-looking face. We are vested with the power to confiscate the prosecutor's badge.
But my badge is important.
Objection!
Oh, this guy.
You can be this guy. You can be this guy.
He's a wizard! What is this guy? What is this music?
Oh my god.
She's 26!
How is she 26?
Pitiful. You really don't know, do you? What an ignoramus.
Who are you, pal?
Winner. Eustace Winner. Prosecutor extraordinaire. I'm so not the villain. Though you might know me as just the winner. A name they call me down at the prosecutor's office. You've just never heard of me, because I never fought Phoenix Wright.
I have never heard of you.
And how about Detective Flatfoot over there?
Nope. Name means nothing to me.
Ignorance is sweet, as they say. So I'm sure most things mean sweet nothings to you.
He's a conductor!
I am apparently a conductor.
I love
With a
this
question mark on my head, so I'm kind of clueless.
It is entirely natural that you aren't yet acquainted. You just only joined us just last month. So he's nothing but a rookie?
Now, let's cut to the chase. I'm here to clean up your mess, Edgeworth. What do you mean? What mess?
I fear I know exactly what he means. The committee is sending an envoy with a privy prosecutor in tow. I suspect I know what you're getting at, winner. Would you mind explaining, Judge Gibble? Very well. By the power vested in me by the Goddess of Justice, I hereby declare, in the matter of the incident of presidential address and the murder of Mr. Bronco Knight, the committee hereby decrees the prosecutor Edgeworth to be relieved of his duties and replaced by prosecutor Winner. Here ends the verdict.
Why does his vase have the same thing he does?
That's actually a very good question.
Ugh! I still can't believe what happened yesterday. It was terrible. The way those two treated you.
I'm more worried about the committee's reasons for doing what they did and what they might do next. I suspect it won't be good.
So, this is it? You're giving up on the Bronco Knight case?
No, I have no intention of doing any such thing. To walk away from the case would be to tacitly accept the committee's decision. The only problem is that I don't have the authority to continue investigating.
I've got some bad news, sir. We're down on the precinct is, they just arrested somebody for Knight's murder.
What? You know who it is?
No, but I heard they're being held in a detention center. Maybe you could go talk to whoever it is?
Good idea. Let's get down there, Mr. Edgeworth. What innocent schmuck have they arrested?
No.
Let's just talk with them, please.
But one of them is prosecutor, right? Aren't they all super scary? All they do is stare at you, right into your soul.
Look, you're a ginger. You don't have a soul.
Oh. Ah, you must be the suspect in the... Hey! This is me, I told you! Hey, why is this man so flustered?
Probably because you're being you. I guess that's just how you are.
Thanks for clearing up absolutely nothing.
Hey, Mr. Suspect, you doing okay in there? We just want to have a little chat with you. No biggie, right?
Who are you?
I'm Kay Faraday, Mr. Edgeworth's trusty sidekick. And that's Mr. Edgeworth. He is a prosecutor, but he's not going to stare a hole into your soul or anything.
Really? Really?
Can you first tell us your name?
It's Saint. Simeon Saint. Perhaps you could start by telling us a little about yourself. Who, me? But why would anyone want to know anything about me? I'm boring. I'm nothing. I'm a nobody. You have a job. Oh, well, it's hardly worth mentioning, really. I'm your average corporate pencil pusher, just like everybody else, honest.
So, Simeon, did you know Mr. Knight? Come on, you can tell me.
Bronco? Yeah, I knew him. We were friends. Interesting. I wonder if you knew that Knight had been arrested.
And, did you know Mr. Knight has been arrested?
Yeah, I even came to visit him. He came to see Knight. Wonder when that would have been.
And when was that, Simeon? Okay, are you reading his mind, or is he, nudging you?
She is very good at being an assistant, I suppose. It was the day before yesterday, about lunchtime. I came as soon as I got the call from the cops.
How come the police called you?
They said Bronco asked him to, that he needed a favor.
A favor?
Uh-huh. He wanted me to bring him his chess set, the pocket-sized one. So I went by his place, and then I came here. A chess set?
A chess set?
Stop repeating my thoughts, Kay.
I'm just stealing your thoughts, Mr. Edgeworth.
Is it just me, or is she getting better at stealing my thoughts? We really do share brain cells.
You do know everything you think is written all over your face, right, Mr. Edgeworth? Amazing, right? Don't you just love having a sidekick as helpful as me? So, this chess set.
Oh, that's the one I brought for Bronco. That settles that, at least.
We, found it next to Mr. Knight.
You always had to have a chessboard somewhere nearby. I'm not surprised he had it with him when we were best friends. At least I thought we were. Why were you arrested, Mr. Saint?
Again?
I just don't get it. Why won't he talk to me? I don't know.
Honestly, I don't. Thank goodness for small miracles. The cops burst into my house this morning out of nowhere. Before I knew it, I was here.
So, did they interrogate you yet?
What? I'm going to be interrogated by the cops? Oh, no. One of the detectives shouted at me and threatened me. No. Detective Dick Gumshoe reporting for duty. See? I told you.
Look, Mr. Edgeworth, Simeon is clearly innocent. So there's gotta be something we can do for him, isn't there?
Mr. Saint? Yes? You had nothing at all to do with his murder, is my understanding correct? Yes, I didn't kill anybody. Very well, then I will choose to believe you. I'll do all of what I can to assist you. Why don't you just borrow an attorney's badge? And you could represent our pal here.
Now's not the time for jokes, Gummy.
But I wasn't kidding. Just thought helping suspects, that's what a defense attorney does, you know?
Sure, but we can do that too. So come on, let's get to work. So we talked a good game in there, but we can't even get back inside the main prison to see the scene of the crime. If it isn't Edgeworth and the gang, what are you cats doing here?
Listen, pal, if you come to harass Miss Edgeworth again, I'll...
Hey, easy there, detective. Flatfoot, wait. Hey, easy there, Detective Flatfoot Sholmes. I'm here to work. Work? What, you're here to defend someone? Whoa, the K-Meister nails it in one. Aren't you just the uber-intelligence one of the bunch?
I love that you just add other languages words in. Uber intelligentes. That's not how you use either of those words, Fender.
Some may say that I'm an easygoing old rogue about town, but I'm actually not a half-bad attorney. Which is why I've been summoned to the old jail roomy for a meeting with the new client. The suspect is one, Simone Sainsbury. You mean Simeon Saint? Wow, that's freaky. You know more about my job than I do. Wait, Mr. Edgeworth, Mr. Defender's a defense attorney. Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
I fear I might be. In fact, it could be our only option.
Eddie Fender doesn't take on associates. Say it ain't so. I hear you protesting. But pompous prosecutors are a no-go. Especially those of the Von Karma variety.
Believe me when I say, I'm not the man I was back then. I'm no longer under my old mental spell.
You better believe it, pal! Mr. Edgeworth's a changed man!
Please, Fender. Don't you think there's something odd about the way the committee stepped in yesterday? There's more to this case than meets the eye. I'm certain of it. I can't just walk away from this. I can't. Please, allow me to help you with this investigation.
Tell you what, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start off again with a clean slate. So, this is me.
Edgeworth & Co. Law Office is Eddie Fender's senior partner?
Mr. Fender here began his legal career as an assistant to my late father, Gregory Edgeworth. Oh, shit!
Ah!
Oh, shit!
I hereby appoint you interim associate of Edgeworth & Co. Congrats, man! The prodigal son coming on board at his late father's firm. Permission to come on board too, please, Mr. Fender. You don't even have to ask, kiddo. Welcome to the crew.
I believe we need to speak with the person who found the body.
Just what I was thinking, eager associate. We do indeed.
Oh no! What the fuck is that?
Oh, my. Just look at you. Are you talking to me? Just fabulously chic, darling. Fabulously. Oh, facial hair is so very grand, don't you think?
Oh my god, she really is! She really is that type of woman!
Enchanté, mademoiselle, and much obliged. Let's get things off on the right foot, shall we? A little embrassade, perhaps. Oh, I like this one go back.
Look at the box!
Oh, God! Right on the kisser. Wow, talk about stealing a kiss.
Indeed, and act so shameless it puts even great thieves to shame.
Don't give her ideas of things to steal, Edgeworth. Physical contact is so very important as a form of expression for a little family. Everyone in this lovely home will tell you as much.
Oh, she's the prison warden.
I squeeze them all to death. Fifi Lagarde.
Oh my god!
Fifi Lagarde, by the way, warden of this charming abode.
I hope you don't mind me asking, but were you here in the prison yesterday?
Oh, don't be silly, darling. Of course I I was. Yesterday was a very important day after all.
Important in what way exactly? A big meeting of some kind, perhaps?
A meeting? Oh, heavens, no. I couldn't think of anything worse. No, yesterday the circus came to visit. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
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 Please let it be a different circus. Oh, no. The performers set up a special stage in the yard just for us. We are one very lucky family, n'est-ce pas?
What time did this show take place?
From around 8 until 10, maybe? Yeah, something like that.
Oh, look at the cute fox.
I know.
And it finished right around when the body was discovered.
Oh, would you look at the time? Sorry, darlings, but I really must dash. I'll look at Polly. Will let me? No, it won't.
I guess Polly's just an Easter egg then. You have a moment. We have a few questions for you.
Polly! Oh, who's a good girl? You are. You're just perfect. She really is. She's beautiful.
Oh no!
Meow! What's her name? It's Waggy, ma'am. She's my little friend.
Oh my god, the puns! I need our answers, not clawful puns.
Well, you know what that means? A fantastic joke!
Oh
More
no!
puns! So, Mthis, why can't cats play poker in the jungle?
Cannot play poker in the what?
The jungle.
Oh, I had something on my tongue, but I just missed it. Oh.
Because there are too many cheetahs!
There's 20 cheetahs! Oh my god!
Prisoner number D258. Classification, Captivus periculus. He may look fearsome, but this lively fellow is actually a sweet nurtured herbivore. He even has a pet penguin named Gwynny.
Aw.
He's skilled at giving such real, gripping testimony. You'll swear you were there at the crime scene too.
About the person who found the body, do you happen to know where he is right now?
Should be in one of the workshops, I guess. Usually is at this hour.
And it seems the workshops are our next port of call.
Yay, well that was easy.
That was quick. Here they come.
Oh no!
What the fuck?
Why are you here again? Hello, yes, hello? I hear you wish to speak with me.
Not exactly the hardened criminal we were expecting, is he? My name is Miles Edgeworth. I'm a public prosecutor.
Where's your other glove? You lost a glove. A prosecutor, you say? Eddie Fender, attorney at law. Listen, sorry about my pal here. He gets the weirdest ideas. Prosecutor, indeed. That'll be the day. He's actually just an associate. Geez, Miles, get a grip, will ya? Ah, that explains it. I did think you looked a little different from the prosecutor I spoke with yesterday.
Would you mind answering a few questions?
No, of course not. I'd be delighted. The name's Sahwit. Frank Sahwit.
Would you mind telling us where you were at the time the body was found?
Yes, I was in the workshop there, working as one might expect.
What kind of work were you doing?
Well, I'm actually retraining at the moment. I'm hoping to become a stylist, you see. A pet stylist, that is. Yeah, so I've been studying hard and practicing every moment I can. And that's it. I certainly didn't see anything.
Interesting. I barely asked him anything at all, and he's already sweating bullets. You know something, don't you?
That's...
He's definitely hiding something. I need to push him a little harder if I'm to get any answers.
Oh, goody,
yes.
it's mine, Chess.
The first step is to analyze the situation. Let's take a look at our opponent.
Oh, damn.
Something tells me he'd be a good poker player. Not to tell much at all from his face. I don't think he'll be giving me much in the way of physical cues either. I'll have to rely solely on his words instead. Mthis, commence! Tell me, what's your connection to this incident?
Oh, well, it has nothing at all to do with me. Nothing.
Really?
I wouldn't dream of getting involved in anything as ghastly as that. Well, you see, how can I put this? I like to think of myself as an upstanding citizen. A good person, if you will. Ignore the fact I killed somebody before.
Forgive me, Mr. Sahwit, but not under normal circumstances. Good people do not tend to end up in prison.
That's...
So, you do well to tell me what you know about the incident.
How many times do I have to tell you people? I mean, I don't know anything, I swear.
Surely you've noticed, Mr. Sahwit, but that I have you exactly where I want you.
Really? It seems to me that you're just wasting my time. Sorry, I don't know what more to say, but I can't help you.
My apologies, Mr. Sahwit.
But considering that the incident occurred right here in the prison, I find it very hard to believe that you know nothing at all.
If you're looking for the person who found the body, you'll have to look elsewhere.
The person who found the body, you say? Why do you think I'm looking for the person who found the body? I've certainly never mentioned any such thing to you.
Ah!
He's wearing it to pee, I forgot about that.
No, I just sensed that's who you might be looking for, that's all. I'm simply a pet stylist in training. I don't know anything, truly.
Tell me about the day of the incident. If you really don't have anything to do with the murder, then you have nothing to hide, right?
Well, the day of the incident? Oh gosh, I mean, so much happened. I saw a clown.
I want to know what you were doing, Mr. Sahwit, in detail.
I told you, I'm a pet stylist in training. And that's what I was doing yesterday, training. Specifically, I was giving the animals a trim.
I would imagine things were suddenly quite tumultuous around here.
Commotion, you say? No, not really. Maybe I heard someone, but...
You heard someone? Was this someone screaming by any chance? And don't try to tell me you don't remember. You continue to assert that you know nothing about the incident, Mr. Sahwit. But I'm afraid I don't believe a word of it.
Yeah! No, I thought I heard someone yelling, but...
What was it like here in the prison yesterday morning?
I really don't remember. I don't have the best memory, I'm afraid.
You don't remember? Please. You literally just confirmed that you heard a scream.
Yes, I heard a scream, you see. But I don't remember what happened yesterday. Oh, but I might have been mistaken. The truth is, I really don't remember.
Your memory fails you yet again. How convenient, but I know you're lying, Mr. Sahwit.
Look, if you must know, when I'm working with the animals and I get into the zone, they're all I see.
Am I to understand you may have something of a talent for animal grooming then?
Well, my scissor technique could use a little work, but I'd say I'm quite good with the animals. They seem to like me. I'm especially good at calming them down when they get scared.
And when exactly do they get scared? Surely it doesn't happen very often.
Well, that's... No, thankfully it doesn't.
A loud scream would certainly frighten the animals, wouldn't it? Why are you going to such lengths to deny having heard the scream?
Yeah! I'll admit I did really hear somebody scream. But I'm not hiding anything, I promise.
When did you hear this scream?
Oh, wait, now I remember. I forgot about the show. They put on a show for us prisoners around the time of the incident, you see. Yes, performing animals, if I remember rightly. That's where I was in the morning.
You do realize that goes completely against everything you've told me so far?
And what are you going to do about it, huh? That is, my memory is patchy, as they say. The animal show really had to be seen to be believed.
It did, didn't? Tell me, what kind of animals did you see?
Let me think. A whale?
Oh my god! Enough of your lies, you were nowhere near the show, were you?
Yeah!
Who did you hear screaming?
Wait, I just realized I made a mistake. When the incident happened, I was out in the yard, yes. So, I didn't hear anyone screaming, no one at all.
How long are you planning to keep up these lies? I already know that you went at the show.
Yeah!
The game's up, Mr. Sahwit. It's high time you told me the truth. I demand to know about this scream, now.
I can't tell you what I don't know. I didn't hear any scream, not from the person who found the body.
Most people would assume that the scream had come from the victim. So then, why do you think it came from the person who found the body?
I made a mistake, that's all.
How, Mr. Sahwit? How do you know that it was the person that found the body who screamed? Shall I tell you? You knew because it was you who found the body. And the scream that was heard when the incident occurred didn't come from the victim. It came from you. Checkmate. Now that we've established that you were the one who found the body, Mr. Sahwit, I believe you have lost any standing you might have had to behold your corporation.
All right, you win.
What happened when you found the body?
I was in that workshop there by myself, practicing what I learned. I don't remember how, but I found myself in front of the door to the other workshop. I happened to peek in through the little window, and then I saw him lying there, a man. Not moving. Dead! I quailed in fright and found myself screaming in sheer terror.
Oh, what a ghastly sight. The room you were in is next to the one where the corpse was found?
Yes, that's right. I was in Workshop B.
And you were there the whole day?
Yes, from 7 a.m. roll call onwards. There are 3 roll calls a day, you see. 7 a.m., noon, and 9 p.m.
And they check who's in the workshops doing roll call, correct?
That's right.
Nothing was reported to be amiss at 7 a.m.
Which puts it right around the time the show was happening. Ah, yes, the show. I remember the other prisoners going to see it.
And therefore, anybody who wasn't at the show has no alibi.
I guess so, but I only found the body. I swear. He found himself in front of the door of the other workshop.
Yeah, that would technically set off the alarm, wouldn't it?
It depends where.
Enough of these pathetic lies, Mr. Sahwit. I praise that Marcia is a prisoner, and therefore unable to move around as you please. As we both know, stepping outside the door would have sounded an alarm.
Well, that's...
But there's no way you could have looked into the other workshop without leaving the room you were in.
Yeah! So actually, I may have forgotten to mention one very important detail. Sorry about that. There's a little trick we prisoners know about, you see. It's probably gonna get patched soon, but whatever. As long as you leave your bracelet inside the door, you can lean out without triggering the alarm. That's how I was able to peek through the window and into the workshop.
How?
What?
How? How long are your arms?
How long are your arms? Inside, I saw the victim's dead body, which made me scream in fright.
Hold it!
Why do you make so much of an effort just to take a look?
Well, you see, I heard noises coming from next door, and that room was supposed to be empty, so I thought it was strange.
And you went to look as soon as you heard these noises?
Yes, of course. I had to see what was going on, so I went right away.
If that's the case, you must have seen more than just a dead body. Because the person who made the noises should have been in there too. Mr. Sahwit, tell us the truth about what you saw. You do, of course, have the right to remain silent, but it will do you little to dispel the notion that you were somehow involved in this crime.
I did see something else, but it's too insane to believe.
Just tell us what you saw.
All right, it was that dog. And what I saw is the stuff of nightmares. That huge black dog had sunk his terrible teeth into the victim's throat. It was hellish, utterly hellish. That beast, that awful beast, he killed him. Jeepers creepers, that's awful. Talk about traumatizing.
So there's a man-eating dog in the prison's animal population, is there?
And that really is everything, I promise. You believe me, don't you? No.
I'd like you to append what you just told us to your testimony, if you don't mind.
I remember seeing his ring gleaming as it caught the light. It featured a snowflake motif in relief. No way did you see that at the distance.
No way. Yeah, no way.
Especially since it's covered.
Yeah, no way did you see that. Objection! A ring with a snowflake relief?
Yes, I saw it clear as day. It was carved in such fine detail.
Testimony is certainly very accurate. In fact, I'd say it's just a little too accurate.
And what's wrong with being too accurate?
I mean this, you testified to having seen a ring with a snowflake design on it. And while the victim did indeed have a ring on his finger, there's no way you could have seen it. Take a look at this photograph. You can see the victim's right hand was covered by a tarp. Would have been impossible for you to see his ring, let alone what the sign was on it. Unless, that is, you approached the body and removed the sheet.
Who the heck do you think you are, huh?
Just who the hell do you think I am?
Mr. Big Shot acting like you know it all? Oh, I know. The man's arm. It must have moved under the top after I peeked in.
Objection!
What?
Nonsense. You already told us that can't have been the case.
Hoo-wee! Is that the stench of desperation I smell?
What are you hiding, Mr. Sahwit? Tell us.
Look!
Oh!
I'm gonna throw this at you too! You couldn't let it go, could you? Had to keep on poking and prodding. You slimy two-bit associate attorney!
You saw something that should have been impossible to see from outside the workshop. So, how do you do it? That's simple. Mr. Sahwit, this is where you were standing when you saw the body. You was in workshop A.
Take that!
You were in the same room as the body. That's the only way you could have seen the relief.
You can't prove it, can you? Because I was in the next room over, minding my own business and looking after the animals. Why else would I have signed out a pair of rubber gloves? For fun?
What were you doing when you discovered the body?
I was practicing my pet styling techniques. I'm very good at them.
Of course. Then perhaps this rubber glove might mean something to you?
That's...
This glove was found by the victim's body. I believe it was dropped by the killer. And I can't help but notice that you have a similar glove stuck into your apron.
No, this one's different.
Yes, that one does seem awfully lonely, doesn't it?
It's just a rubber glove. There are hundreds of them all over the prison.
Not yet, perhaps, but if I were to ask the police to check this glove for prints, I have a feeling that results would be rather fascinating.
I'm freaking out again.
It's over.
Objection!
A man here's a prisoner, right? And he's got one of those bracelet doohickeys on, or... That's true! So how could he have left his workshop in the first place? Well, anything you'd like to share, good buddy? We're all friends here. That's weird. He should be clinging onto that bracelet like the big round lifesaver it is. Sorry, can't get into the crime scene with a bracelet on. If it was me, I'd be arguing that for my life. And yet, he hasn't said a peep about it. So, friend, what's the dealio? Why so coy about your bracelet?
He's just silent now. Is he in shock? Well, okay.
Where'd you get the hair?
Good question.
Well, to tell you the truth, it's broken. I should have told the gods about it, I know, but, well, it was awfully convenient.
You, Dan? Could we have a moment?
I'm petting the kitty. Aw, aren't Mew just the cutest?
Ahem!
Meow! No. How can I help you, sir?
The prisoner's bracelet appears to be broken.
What? Really? That's not good. I'll get someone to find a replacement right away.
Thank you. We'll keep a hold of the broken one for the time being.
Sweet! Bracelet sorted. Now, to turn on a murderer and... Yeah? What? No, I didn't kill anybody. I just found the body. That's all. I promise. And when I did, that enormous dog still had his mouth wrapped around the poor man's neck. I only went into the workshop after the beast had left.
And why did you go in?
To steal the ring, of course.
You're going to rob the corpse.
Hey, why are you looking at me like that? I'm a great thief. I'd never stoop so low as to steal from a... Well, I didn't steal anything either. The show ended just after I entered the room, and all the other inmates came trickling downstairs thereafter. I panicked, rushed back to the other workshop, and started my fake screaming.
I say one very significant question still remains. The question of how Knight made it to the prison. Probably from his holding cell is in the detention center.
Whoa, yeah. That one's a doozy.
That dog's involvement can only mean one thing. Well, you're the only prisoner who didn't go to watch the show.
Well, no, there was one other who didn't.
Am I right in thinking that this person couldn't have watched the show even if he'd wanted to?
Yes! How did you...
Where's this person's cell?
You're going to see him? All I'll say is, if you value your life, you'll stay well away from him. They keep him in maximum security.
The mystery man in maximum security is an old acquaintance. Let's go pay him a visit. I suspect we'll find our dark canine friend there too.
Wow! It's pitch black in there. I can't see a thing.
But didn't you say that the En-Guarde takes flight even in the dead of night or something?
Even in the depths of night, when no other bird dares to take flight. One alone soars to shine, the light of righteousness on the world's blight. And that one is me, for I am the great thief, Yatagarasu! Whoa, you are one powerful performer. Eek!
Ah, Mr. Edgeworth. That voice. I knew it. It has been far too long. You remember me? I could hardly forget now, could I? After all, you are the one who put me away. Oh, but I am forgetting myself. Forgive me. I don't often receive visitors. One moment, I will turn on the lights.
Who the hell?
Holy shit! Holy shit!
Who are you?
You are a heavy-footed lot. Am I right in thinking there are 3 of you in all? He's blind.
It's a seeing eye dog.
Yeah, it's a guide dog. I am Bodyharma Kanis. As you may have gathered, Mr. Edgeworth and I are old acquaintances. Kanis was a notorious assassin. Some knew him as the Blind Butcher. His only weapons were his vicious hunting hound and a fearsomely sharp knife. His appearance was always announced by the sound of bells. Last sound his victims would ever hear. You know why I'm here. In fact, I'm willing to bet you know every detail of this sordid little affair already. Then I suppose we have nothing to hide from one another.
Doggy! I love the music.
Yeah, like, he has a very Buddhist monk
theme to him. You can even see his swell in the background. Your faithful canine friend is currently the chief suspect in the murder investigation. The person who found the body saw a dog with its mouth around the victim's throat. Your witness is mistaken. Helmut is a gentle soul. He is my eyes, nothing more. It is absurd to think that he would do such a thing. Isn't it, boy? Yes, it is. You're a good boy, aren't you? Helmut is more than mere seeing eye dog, and he's certainly no good boy. He's also a trained killer. This witness of yours, he is trustworthy, I assume? I know, then. I thought as much. Yes, I did, Helmut, yes. What were you doing between 8 and 10 a.m. yesterday morning, Mr. Kanis? I was here, in Scone, in these humble surroundings. I have developed a passion for wood carving. You see, an obsession even. I was engrossed in it all morning. Like, look at this, and he's blind too. This guy is really skilled at what he does. And you have permission to engage in such a hobby. Can't believe someone would actually let you. The warden and I have an understanding. An understanding? That's ridiculous. This man shouldn't be allowed one, let alone 5 chisels. I was carving Buddhist pieces at first. By the 674th, my interest had begun to wane.
Whoa! That must have taken forever!
The time is all I have, child. In any case, my focus has now shifted to pieces, such as these. I didn't know you played chess. You play too, do you not, prosecutor? Perhaps one day you might indulge me. I can't imagine it's easy finding opponents to play here in prison, though. Oh, I have my correspondence. Correspondence chess, then? Sharing moves by post. Yes, even prisoners are allowed to send and receive letters. Their contents are inspected, of course. Although I have yet to receive the details of my current opponent's next move. I know correspondence chess is actually a very common thing to do.
Oh my god, I just thought of something. What if his correspondent was Knight?
Holy shit, you might be right! You might be right, Knight might be his correspondent!
You'd put me in check! Die!
His name was Bronco Knight, was it not? Poor unfortunate soul. You keep your ear to the ground. My ear's all I have, Mr. Edgeworth. Perhaps he was not so unfortunate after all. Mr. Knight's crime was a grave one. A crime for which he would have been made to pay dearly anyway. The attempted assassination of a president. That is no small matter.
That's not his crime. Wait, Mr. Edgeworth, did Mr. Knight?
Yes, we proved that he murdered his team leader, and that there was no attempt on the president's life. Could it be? An attempt to cover up President Wang's fake assassination scheme?
Whoa there, cowboy. You're saying the Bronster didn't actually have a pop at the prez? I was hired to defend him on the charge of attempted murder.
But explain why the committee was so keen to get involved.
They're trying to cover up the truth.
They told me he was violently insistent that he had attempted no assassination.
Yeah, he seriously didn't. He never attempted to assassinate anyone. He just succeeded in killing someone.
Yes, this is a giant cover-up. You're not the first to make me a subject of unfounded suspicions in recent days. In fact, I was visited by another prosecutor only yesterday, and he was accompanied by a judge. He even dragged the warden along, a distasteful me lingering unspoken in the air.
Wait, you have an understanding with a warden who doesn't like you?
Apparently.
What?
They went over my cell with a fine-tooth comb, but they left out empty-handed. They were looking for the murder weapon, I believe. No avail. But I mustn't take it personally. Rumor has it that they search every cell in the prison. Helmut will show you out. Good boy, Helmut. Go on now.
Why would you allow to be keeping your personal dog?
Probably because he's blind. Until next time, Mr. Kanis. I await your return, Mr. Edgeworth.
Oh my god, Kay!
She really is scared of helmets.
Hey, Mr. Edgeworth!
That's the best hiding spot she could find. It's alright, Kay. You can calm down now.
So, what do we do now?
You and I will continue the investigation, and I know just where to start. Let's start with that one particular mystery that's been dogging us this whole time. Let's start by investigating the holding cells.
He's still not talking, ma'am? Even with the evidence you borrowed from the precinct? No! But I've tried so many times I've lost count. What am I supposed to do? I can't send in a blank report. I guess a killer for hire was always going to be a tough nut to crack. Oh!
I couldn't help but overhearing Warden Lagarde, but were you just talking about body harm, Kanis?
My, you were listening! How very gosh of you! A girl's privacy is her armor, you know!
Do you normally conduct interrogations of the man yourself?
Oh, it's not just him, darling. I try to have the occasional Tide. With everyone, you see. That's what it means to be a member of the family in this little home of
I
ours.
just love the little fox.
There isn't a person who hasn't made the pilgrimage to my office at least once.
Your office?
It's down this corridor here, darling. But FYI, I don't let just anybody wander in willy-nilly. It's a wonderful room if I do say so myself. All my guests rave about it. And who wouldn't want a view of my fabulous garden in the yard? Ooh la la. It's time for Ally's luncheon. Lunchy brunch. The poor dear will be dying.
Ally?
The sweetest little deer in all the world. I know I shouldn't have favorites, but you know how it is. Now, to the yard with me. Ciao for now, darlings.
Let's go investigate this victim's cell, shall we? Begin investigation! Reflected in the mirror is...
That's a mirror? I thought it was a painting. A security camera! A great thief's greatest enemy! Nothing about this place is very thief-friendly, if I'm being honest. Although...
I think it might be entirely deliberate, Kay. Guard, I'd like you to retrieve the footage from the security camera and review it as carefully as you can. If you see anything out of the ordinary, inform me immediately.
Yes, sir. Why is there a chain ball on a desk?
So the desk doesn't get moved. Obviously.
Hey, look at this weird piece of paper!
There's some sort of grid on it. Let's take a closer look. The grid appears to be a chess diagram. The victims, I suppose. This seems to be a closely fought contest. Or perhaps if this pawn were... No, wait.
Not now, Mr. Edgeworth! This is no time to be playing games!
This is the first time I've seen this configuration of pieces. I was thinking the exact same thing. It was from a different perspective, but it was definitely the same game. Because this is the exact same setup as in Kanis' cell. This chess game, I've seen it before. Take a look at this. Can you tell me what it is?
It's the chess set we saw in Mr. Canis' cell!
Compare the ones in Mr. Kanis' cell with these. Do you notice anything?
Ah! I don't know which piece is which or anything, but if you turn the diagram like this, there are pieces in the same squares!
As unlikely as it may seem, Mr. Kanis' chess opponent was...
Mr. Knight? Wow, that's a lot of books! Let's take a look. Ooh, I like the look of this one! 200 Days of Freedom, an escape story. And this one too, making money while serving time.
This facility may have more deeply rooted problems than I thought.
So I've been doing some research on my own.
Oh, and what have you discovered?
I've discovered that guy who looks good in suits tend to be popular with the ladies. But don't worry, guys with frilly neck ruffles are next on my research list. Hey look, this newspaper got a chunk of it missing.
You're right, a few of its pages have been roughly torn out. There's something different about this spot here.
This part of the floor is weirdly clean. Did somebody wipe it down or something?
This part of the floor has been wiped clean. You can certainly imagine what he used to do the wiping. The torn out pages of that newspaper. We made significant progress by establishing a connection between Mr. Kanis and the victim.
The security camera footage, sir. I watched it and...
What is it? Can you show it to us?
Yes, sir. I have a small playback monitor with me. Holy, full-on animation?
Wow. What's that?
That black thing! It's that dog, right?
And so now our assumption was that the crime had taken place inside the prison proper. But it seems that assumption may have been wrong. Knight had actually been attacked in this location, right here in the detention center. And the perpetrator was indeed Mr. Kanis' dog. This is just the evidence we need.
It looked a little small for that.
Yeah, the floor of Knight's cell was wiped clean, presumably to remove something. Would that something have been his blood? Thank you, officer. Would you mind doing me one more favor? There's a detective by the name of Gumshoe somewhere in this facility. I need you to give him a message. Tell him to have this cell tested for traces of blood and to report the results to Edgeworth.
You got it, sir. Okay, time to get asking. Huh?
Ooh!
Thanks for the tour. Later. That animation was quicker.
Yep.
You didn't do it all cool like. Well, Mr. Prosecutor and his little friend. I didn't expect to run into you here. Must be my lucky day.
You had some business to take care of, I take it, Agent Lang?
You could say that. Nothing that need concern you, though. First a black hound, now a wolf all in black. Hey, wait, why are you all alone today?
He's usually accompanied by an army of police officers, that's true.
I hear you were at it again a couple days back, sticking your nose into things.
Actually, I had thought you might be there as well, heading up the security detail.
Ha! Our president doesn't have that much faith in it. The efficacy of his own country's police force. Maybe now he'll think twice before using contractors again. Amateurs.
Agent Lang doesn't have much faith in the prosecutors or the courts to do their jobs right, which is why he's so meticulous about investigating with his hand-picked, cream-of-the-crop officers. Indeed, I know things would have turned out differently had you and your men been in charge.
My men, huh? Yeah, those guys aren't around anymore.
What? They're not?
It's funny, isn't it? I'm a real lone wolf now.
What are you saying, Agent Lang? What on earth happened?
I told you, it doesn't concern you. See you around, Mr. Prosecutor.
We'll worry about Agent Lang later. We have an investigation to conduct.
Oh, I can't watch the footage. Come on. Give me the footage. I can zoom and enhance. Because the little furball looked a little too small to be the dog.
Yeah, I don't think it's the dog.
Oh man, I am in so much trouble.
What's the matter? You seem perturbed.
Oh, well, you see, one of my uniforms is missing. I could have sworn it was right here in my locker. Missing uniform.
Oh, now that is an important clue. I was wondering, have you seen an enormous black dog wandering around here recently?
That thing? No way. If I had, well, let's just say I'd be a lot more nervous about standing guard here. Hey, are those my faithful assistants I see before me? I've been looking for you two. Been searching high and low. Wandering lonely through the prison halls. Oh, it was terrible, I tell you. But the prison's over there on the other side of the facility, boss. So listen, I just got the lowdown on some seriously dynamite material. You want to hear it, right? Right? Turns out the Bronster had himself a little incident 2 days ago. Pre-mortem, if you catch my drift. Simeon told you he came to visit his pal, right? Well, it happened right after they'd wrapped up, when Bronco was being escorted back to his cell. It was just one guard and he was handcuffed, obs. They'd made it back and the guard was taking off his cuffs when the Bronster clobbered him. Knocked the poor guy out cold. Sounds like it might have been the prelude to a jailbreak. Cause when the other guards showed up, they couldn't find their comrade's keys. He swore right to the end that he never stole the keys. They turned his cell inside out too, but no dice.
The guard who was struck. What do you have to say?
Nothing. Poor guy was still out when they took him to the hospital. Word is, he's still there. Oh my god. Why did I take so many voices? I can't keep track of all of them anymore. What the? It's you losers.
And that's all we need.
Why are you still hanging around here like a bad smell? Hey there, little buddy, listen. Miles is working with me now as an associate. Nonsense. You're just here to cause trouble and turn my investigation into a fart. What? What?
Eustace means farce, of course. A simple slip of the tongue. Oh, she's grooming him.
Judge Gavel, great to see you again.
I know who you are. You are Simeon Saint's attorney.
Guilty as charged. Now that we've broken the ice, how about a friendly... Or not! I'm totally cool either way.
Did I hear you correctly? That Mr. Edgeworth has joined the defense team?
Yep, and me too! We're officially employees of Edgeworth & Co.
But a prosecutor is a public servant. You draw your sword on the goddesses to work for personal gain? Not a problem if I'm not getting paid though, correct? How wonderful. Do you all work without reward? The goddess would surely approve.
Yeah. I'm a regular philanthropist.
Judge Gavel, I was hoping to ask you about the grounds for Simeon Saint's arrest. That information is on a need.
Is that a challenge I hear? I'm always ready for a little verbal combat to show you what it takes to be a real winner.
Fine, we'll do as you suggest. Now if you could begin by telling us why Mr. Saint was arrested. There'll be no need for that. Usually we should...
No, not now, Gavel. Watch and wonder as I put this pathetic prosecutor in his place. He's going to run rings around me.
Oh my god, he's slipping his tongue so much.
You want to know why I arrested that man? It's simple. I found evidence of him all over that thing.
Hold it!
Evidence of him was all over that thing. Could you be a little more specific, Mr. Winner?
Do I really have to spell it out for you, Edgeworth? I'd hoped even you could put 2 and 2 together.
I'm sure Mr. Edgeworth and his friends would be very interested about how you cracked the case.
Fine. If you insist, I'll fill in the gaps. Brace yourselves. because this is going to blow your tiny little minds.
Somehow I
bet you didn't even know. But the victim had, wait for it, a chess set with him. Are you literally arresting him?
Oh
Because
my
of
God.
the chess set having his fingerprints on it, and literally that's it.
Oh my God. This kid is so dubious.
And that chess set was covered in the fingerprints of a certain Mr. Simeon Saint.
Praise be to the goddess of justice, but inside she offers. Congratulations once again, Eustace. I assume she's corrupt, yes, because I actually think she's competent, but I think she's corrupt as hell. You not object to Eustace amending his testimony, I trust, Mr. Edgeworth? No, by all means, please do.
Objection!
So the fingerprints on the chess set are the ace up your sleeve?
The what up my what? Oh, yes, the chess set up the ace's sleeve.
Oh my god!
Oh my, that's right, Edgeworth. I've got a winning hand, as usual.
Only your winning hand is a busted flush. For you see, it was Simeon Saint who brought that chess set to the victim in the first place. Therefore, it's only natural that his fingerprints are all over it.
Ah!
Oh, he's entered into an exclamation mark! In conclusion, those fingerprints aren't proof of anything, and Mr. Saint's arrest was premature. The incident took place here within the walls of this facility, and being neither a guard nor a prisoner, it makes very little sense to suspect Mr. Saint.
Oh! I think you might be the premature one here, Edgeworth.
Did you only just work out what that word means?
This guy is an idiot. Sure, I identified Mr. Saint as the suspect faster than pretty much anybody else. And I won the race when it came to picking out the crucial evidence too. I'm quick on the draw, you see. But hasty? Not at all. You're right that Mr. Saint isn't a god or a prisoner here, but he was.
Eustace? Judge Gavel.
But out, Gavel! I have him right where I want him!
Forgive me, Eustace, but if I may, while the particulars of the suspect are indeed fascinating, but don't we have something a little more impressive to share with the prosecutor?
Something more impressive?
Eustace made an ingenious deduction concerning the murder weapon. Perhaps you would like to hear it?
Yes, of course. Well remembered, Gavel. Listen to this, Edgeworth, and prepare to be amazed.
Objection!
Will this ingenious deduction explain why Mr. Saint was arrested?
Let's just say, you won't be disappointed. I highly doubt that. Fact 1, the murder weapon was some sort of metal blade. What? Fact 2, potentially deadly blades are strictly controlled within the prison walls, as we both know. From these two facts, I conclude that the weapon in question must have come from outside. It must have been hidden inside the chess set. That's what I think, anyway. And since the only prints were found on the chess set belonged to the victim and the suspect, I'd say it blindingly obvious who brought the weapon in and used it, wouldn't you?
If nothing else, his testimony this time is a little more comprehensible than the last.
Another winning deduction brought to you by one winner. Eustace, prosecutor extraordinaire!
More like one winner, Eustace prosecutor extraordinaire, if you ask me.
But how could anyone even hide a weapon inside that chess set? Good question. Why don't you take a look for yourselves?
Oh, hidden shelf.
Ah.
What? The safe lining at the top opens like a flap door.
Whoa! There's plenty of room in there.
Indeed, more than enough to hide something like a small knife or a set of keys.
Ingenious, no. The killer snuck the weapon in by...
Objection!
Ah? What do you mean? Oh, he's crying! What do you mean? Let me finish, will you?
I feel you've not been listening, Mr. Winner. Or perhaps you've simply forgotten. The detention center is outfitted with a security gate.
Huh? I mean, yeah, and? Okay, he's too incompetent to be the villain.
Yeah, he's a tool. The security gate also acts as a metal detector, Eustace.
Aha, yes! Yes, that's right. Of course I remember.
It would have been impossible to smuggle a metal blade through such a gate and into the facility.
You shut up.
That gate is only used to scan people. Any items they bring into the facility are only subjected to a cursory check.
That's not how prisons work!
That seems like a pretty big oversight. Are you telling me that the chess set wasn't put through the metal detector? It should have been. As it seems the guards have grown a little lax in that regard of late.
You know, at least it should have been.
I shall punish them for their heresy.
Very good. Thank you, Gavel.
Now, Mr. Edgeworth, you will be so kind as to begin your cross-examination. I suspect what Knight did was he clobbered clobbered the guard after receiving his chessboard and hit the keys inside the chessboard.
It proves that there's a contradiction in your testimony.
Oh my god!
Hold it!
And would you care to name this person?
It's elementary, my dear fellow. The killer is you!
What?
But Mr. Saint isn't here right now.
Mr. Winner is having a moment, Kay. Try not to rub it in.
Oh, I get it. He wanted to play great detective, huh?
Aww.
If you guys are done mocking me.
Hold it!
But no murder weapon was found at the crime scene, and there's nothing inside the chessboard either. I'm curious, Mr. Winner. Do you also have thoughts about where this weapon might be?
Well, the perpetrator must have hidden it somewhere in the prison.
Hid it somewhere inside the prison? That seems unlikely. In fact, I can prove that it's not the case. Couldn't find anything.
What evidence is that it's not in there? Well, we did. You didn't find it. Is that really?
You didn't find anything.
Oh my god.
Was it that simple?
Oh my god.
I'm starting to worry about your memory, Mr. Winner. Didn't you and the good judge search the prison with Warden En-Guarde? Didn't you fail to find a likely murder weapon?
Poor kid. Oh, well, yes, but I guess we just messed up. That's all.
You're saying your search wasn't entirely thorough? You, the so-called winning rookie?
Stop making fun of me.
Eustace, calm yourself, breathe deeply, and not allow your opponent to get under your skin.
I'm a winner. Why should I let a third-rate loser like Edgeworthless here get under my skin? Look, it's simple. Since my first-rate investigation didn't turn up any weapons, it means there wasn't one to find, which leaves only one possibility. The murderer took the weapon with him when he left the prison. That's why we couldn't find it when we looked. Obviously.
Objection!
More memory trouble, Mr. Winner. Now you're forgetting things you yourself said.
Are you making fun of me? Again?
Oh, so you remember what I said? But perhaps you might have been better served by remembering this.
What's that? Wait, does he seriously not remember?
Coming from the prison, anyone leaving the facility would have had to pass through both of them. 2 gates, both fitted with metal detectors. So as you can see, there's no way anyone could have taken a weapon out through both gates. Therefore, there's no way the murder weapon could have left the building. In which case, Mr. Edgeworth, perhaps you would care to tell us where you think the murder weapon might be? It is still here on the premises. That's the only plausible conclusion to be drawn.
But we searched the prison from top to bottom and couldn't find anything.
Because you were never going to find anything to begin with. Not when you were laboring under the misconception that it's a blade you were looking for. That is quite a claim. I assume you have the evidence to support it? What is the weapon that was used to commit the crime? This is a footage taken from a security camera trained on Knight's holding cell. Now watch it for yourselves and see.
What? But how?
This footage captures the moment the victim was attacked by a black dog.
I still say that's too small to be that dog.
Yeah. More than sufficient proof of how he really died, wouldn't you say? Yes, it is certainly significant. Now we know that Knight was in fact killed in his cell by a vicious dog. And a dog that moved the victim's body to the prison workshop post-mortem. You know this thanks to an eyewitness who saw the dog in the workshop when the body was discovered. Of course, I think we can all agree that there's no way the dog could have planned such a crime itself.
How would the dog even know Mr. Knight? How would Kanis know who Mr. Knight is?
Yeah, I'm very curious here. Indeed, I fear it may be his handiwork after all.
Overruled!
That's quite enough of that, Mr. Edgeworth. You're correct that this footage is an important piece of evidence, but it also raises an important new question. A question that I suspect you have also been asking yourself. The black dog, the one that belongs to the one of the inmates. How did it move between the holding cells and the prison proper at will? The truth is, I don't know yet. Until the defense provides an adequate explanation, the court cannot accept your line of logic. That is all. This court is adjourned.
But they could clearly see something's attacking him that isn't a knife. So, unless Simeon has a pet black dog that he brought with him.
Objection!
We may not have all the answers yet, but you haven't explained anything either regarding Mr. Saint. Just as we don't yet know how the dog made it into one of the detention center's holding cells. You can't know how Mr. Saint could have made it inside the detention center, let alone the prison either. He would have been allowed as far as the visitor's room to see his friend, but no further. Judge Gavel, I believe it's your turn to provide some proof. You wish for the court to provide you with proof. Highly irregular, but very well.
What is her music?
You actually have something? Powerful
This is
theme.
like boss music.
Yeah, this is a powerful theme. Seems like as good time as any. And I suppose you have been kind enough to share your own theories on the case. I suspect you don't know what Mr. Saint does for a living. So allow me to fill you in. Yes, a circus performer. Perhaps you've heard of the Very Big Circus?
Not that. There's a flying magician.
You see it now, I assume. A show featuring animals and performers, performed by members of the Very Big Circus.
So, does that mean Mr. Saint?
Yes, Mr. Saint was allowed inside the prison as part of that show. A fact that has not been confirmed beyond reason. That has been confirmed in reasonable doubt. She haunted that fact until the last possible moment. She let me run with my own theory, and only afterwards is used to reveal the truth.
What a bitch. I got you good, didn't I, you third-rate prosecutor? You didn't do shit.
Gentlemen, this court is well and truly adjourned. If I may offer a word of advice, Mr. Edgeworth, your conduct as prosecutor is already in question. You do well to remember that you were removed from this case for that precise reason. What are you trying to say? That the committee reserves the right to confiscate your badge at any time. If you wish to retain it, you would do well to avoid crossing paths with us again. Oh, and one last thing. You are no defense attorney. Abandon this foolish pretense. Well, do try to remember that the two jobs are not one and the same, and that a defense attorney is expected to develop something of a bond with their client. Next time, finding out your client's real occupation might be a good place to start.
So Simeon lied to us. No, not just you two. Guy took me for a ride too. What's his deal? Whoa. You're not having second thoughts about all this, are you, Milesy boy? The defense never rests, as a wise man once said. And that goes for associates too.
Don't worry, Fender. I have no intention of resting. Nevertheless, our assumption that Mr. Singh couldn't have entered the prison has been proven false, which means we'll need to restart our investigation from square one, I'm afraid.
March 28, 3:02 p.m. You withheld information from me. Why? I didn't withhold anything. Oh, at least I didn't mean to.
Okay, so you are a member of the Very Big Circus, right?
No, I mean, yes, but no. I'm not really a member. I'm still new. That's irrelevant. You're still a member. Did he just
killed
faint?
him.
5 minutes later.
Let's try this again. Why didn't you tell us?
Because it would have looked so suspicious, me being a performer at a circus show. I thought if anyone found out, and nobody would believe I was innocent, not even you, Kay. I thought I made it clear that I believed you. But when you stare at me like that, I get terrified.
So, what do you do at the circus, Simeon?
I'm an animal tamer, kind of. I'm still learning the ropes.
That's so cool! Do you get to train lions and tigers and bears and stuff?
Lions, tigers, bears, oh my! No. I work with this little guy. Oh shit, I think that was what attacked Bronco. Because a monkey could also climb in through the cell window.
But is it the circus's monkey or the prison's monkey? What?
Oh, the monkey's there.
You just allow the monkey?
Not now, Money, I'm trying to... Oh, you little scamp. Aw, okay. That's a part of the act, I get it.
Wait, didn't Money like really shiny things?
Yes. When we spoke to you before, you said you worked at a company.
I just pictured Money bigger. Because didn't Money lift like a statue or a bust or something that weighs probably 20 pounds or more?
Yeah, which I don't think that monkey could do. I was telling the truth, the circus really is a company. We all have titles and everything. The ringmaster's the CEO, and I'm what you guess you'd call me a goofer. I even have a line manager. She's head of the animal taping department. It's part of the showbiz division. So this line manager, was she working with you on the show? Yes, it was just us two. It wasn't all that big of a job compared to what we normally do. She's usually the one performing on stage. I just do all the monkey work. But I did have a bit part this time. Alright, talk me through your movements here at the facility. Sure, I came to see Bronco at around noon 2 days ago. And that was when you brought him the chess set? Yes, and that same evening I started working on setting up the stage in the yard. It was so hard, I had to haul everything in by myself over multiple trips. They let us use one of the rooms in the prison for storage, Workshop A, I think.
You mean your boss didn't help you?
Oh no, I could never ask her to schlep all that stuff around. Like I said, the monkeys works my job. Once it was all set up, we did a run through and it must have been midnight by the time I left. The next morning I was back and ready for the show, which started at 8 a.m. Then we performed till 10. Do you have any idea why you were arrested? I think I might know why. When I was moving all the stuff, I went to go see how he was doing. Bronco, I mean. You went to the holding cells on your own? Tell me you had permission. No, it wasn't a formal visit or anything, so I just sort of snuck over and hoped no one stopped me. But you just seen him earlier the same day. Why take the risk? I've known him since we were kids, when both of us were all alone. He doesn't have any family, you see, just like me.
You don't have any family?
For a while I had my dad, but he passed away when I was a little kid.
Losing one's fun as a child. I know that pain all too well. There was nobody else nearby when you went to see him.
No, the other holding cells were empty, and I didn't see any guards.
So the assumption is that something happened while the two were all alone together. In any case, I think we all need to speak to your boss next.
Tell her I'm sorry, won't you? I'm so sorry. I can't believe I let this happen.
From the Book of Gregory, an attorney is a friend to the friendless. Simeon me bucko. This guy'll suffer any hardship for your friendship. Things are gonna be shipply amazing.
Shipley?
Shipley? I mean, I guess he was being piratey at that point. I don't know.
I didn't realize I talked like a pirate day had come early this year, Fender.
But that's just the thing. You never know when a pirate will strike. A great thief's galleon for the dread pirate K. Yar, me hearties.
Oh my god, Kay.
We'll sail the 7 seas together and claim the greatest treasure of all, the truth.
Shiver me timbers, you two will be the death of me. Come on, let's set sail for the prison yard. But no she-sandies in the way, please. Circus performance was taking place here just before the body was discovered.
Check it out! It's like a backdrop to some epic festival! Oh my god! Eek!
Hey!
It's an elephant.
Just move! Stop hitting me! Help, Mr. Edgeworth!
It's a cease and desist, you beast.
Stay, Asaya, stay! Oh, you found a new friend to play with. Good for you, girl.
Play with? Your elephant nearly ate me!
Elephants aren't carnivorous. No way, she'd never do a thing like that. Asaya doesn't even bite. At least not very often. How did you like meeting a real live elephant up close? Aren't you glad you did?
Yeah, glad I didn't die.
I'm Regina. It's so nice to meet you.
I'm Kay, Great Thief Extraordinaire and Mr. Associate Defense Attorney's Great Associate.
This self-introduction brought to you by the word convoluted.
Asaya stopped the second you told her to. You really have a way with animals, Regina.
Well, I wouldn't be much of an animal tamer if I didn't.
What? So you're Simeon's boss?
That's right. Regina Berry, head of the Animal Taming Department, Showbiz Division, Berry Big Circus.
How many things are within this circus? I would laugh so hard if the former clown just created all these separate departments simply because he has like a bachelor's in business or something.
Very likely.
Well, Mr. Edgeworth, let's get cracking. Too bad we can't see much of what's beyond the metal fence, though.
Indeed, and we are storing the information in addition to evidence. Therefore, we should make an effort to talk with any persons of interest as well.
Why are you out here?
Yeah, why is he out here? A simple, sturdily built well. I wonder if it is the work of the prisoners.
There's a long piece of rope and a pretty heavy-looking weight. Let's see, it weighs 30 pounds. Oh, and there's some pulleys, too.
What exactly were they being used for, I wonder? Maybe that's some kind of pulley system.
Ah, Mr. Attorney, sir. And how are you today, if you don't mind me asking? Today? We just talked to you early, Mr. Sahwit. Oh, heavens, I do apologize. My memory is really terrible. Ever since I came to call this place home, I've been working on my interpersonal skills, you see.
In order to be as annoying as possible?
Yes! I'm currently helping out with the circus's show, stage, teardown, and cleanup. I'm just chipping in and doing what I can, model prisoner that I am. Anyway, as you can see, I have a shiny new bracelet now, and I hate you for it. So it's the straight and narrow for me. Like I say, I'm a model prisoner.
Not that a real model prisoner would need to keep telling me that.
I'm doing everything I can to prepare for my eventual return to society.
Didn't you tell us about Mr. Kanis sooner?
Ah, that! Look, I don't think there's an inmate in this prison who'd talk about him if they didn't have to. Well, you could say he's the real one in charge around here. You didn't hear it from me, but, well, I guess it comes with being the fixer. Anything you need, he can get it for you. I heard he has a secret way of getting things into the facility. Not that I concern myself with such things anymore, of course. I'm far more interested in perfecting my mud pack application technique. They're a special type of mud treatment, rich with minerals. It works wonders on their coats. I've been practicing on the animals here in the prison. I hope to treat them all eventually. That's the rubber glove I dropped.
Would you care to explain why it's so dirty?
Oh, of course. That's mud from one of the pet treatments I've been practicing. I was giving one of the animals a mud pack right when the incident happened.
I see. Around what time would this have been?
Let's see. The show had already started, so around 9 a.m. perhaps. The thing is, the more mud I applied, the more in the zone I got, and the darker the animal's fur became. Were you doing it to a monkey by chance?
Oh.
There's no trance quite like the trance one enters when one slathers an animal with thick, black mud.
If you're the head of the animal taming department, you must be Mr. Sane's boss? That's right. My dad founded a very big circus. But he passed away. He was murdered. We have a new ringmaster now, and he's made the circus bigger and better than ever. He's such a nice man. He was a good friend of my dad's too.
Are you still being hit on by a puppet? Wow, that's great! Lucky you!
I know, right? It was his idea to set up departments like animal taming, magic, and ventriloquy.
I knew it!
Only animal taming and ventriloquy have more than one person right now. But the very big circus is getting bigger and better day by day. Can you tell me about the show? Oh, it's a wonderful thing. It even has a story. And not just any story. It's a love story. Isn't that dreamy?
Sounds like a regular riot. So who's the star of the show? Let me guess. You?
No, silly. That would be Asiya. And she falls in love with none other than Regent the Tiger. It's a heart-rending saga of forbidden interspecies romance. And that's not all. There's a love triangle too. It's so romantic. So the elephant is the heroine. I suppose that's the first time for everything.
And, who's the third wheel?
Oh, that would be the big old meanie who tries to tear our star-crossed lovers apart. It's a sneaky monkey. That's certainly lowered the stakes.
Oh, you mean money, right?
Nope, again, the role of the monkey is played by Simeon. What? Anyway, the evil villain tries to tear Asiya and Regent apart. What will become of the fated twosome? It's so exciting, isn't it? So, Mr. Sane was more than just a little helper, he claims to be. Poor Simeon. It'd be terrible if he couldn't perform with us anymore. Can you tell me about how you set things up for the performance? Oh, that's not really my area. Simeon took care of all the lifting and carrying. I didn't see him doing something near that well, though.
Danger! High voltage! I never saw one of these in real life. Hey, that must be the fabulous garden outside the warden's office over there.
Oh yes, Warden En-Guarde mentioned being able to see it from her own window on the detention center side.
There you are! Oh, yeah. Neat. Regina! Cupcake!
Oh, Warden En-Guarde!
I've been simply dying to sit you down for a chat, you exquisite little thing! They can chat for as long as they want, I don't care.
Do you have a mind if I ask you a little about the prison?
Oh, not at all! This place is my pride and joy, my home! Sure, it was a prison when I first arrived, and it was awful! An utter disgrace! It was the ambience that was awful. The animals! If anyone could brighten up the place, it was them! Why, my darling Frankie is the very picture of rehabilitation!
Except when he's rifling through dead men's pockets.
We have so many success stories among the family, but darling Frankie really is a marvel. He's thrown himself into his vocational training and is always the first to volunteer for everything. What? And your other model prisoners don't do that? Oh, of course they do, my dear. Of course. They're all such triers, such doers. It's just that Frankie, let's just say he knows what's good for him. What?
Okay, she's doing something sinister. What is she hiding?
Loud, soaring music, great leaping animals. The Berry Big Circus truly has it all. And everyone who comes here gets to see it once a month.
Once a month? This monthly show, is it always performed by the Berry Big Circus?
But of course, sweetie. I'm Regina's biggest fan. That girl's my little princess, my superstar. Hell?
Did she just kiss the box?
And she's so adorable, so sweet. I could just gobble her right up. Which is why I'm worried about her. So worried. It's all because of poor Simeon, you see. If he's found guilty, why, darling Regina will be devastated. So you simply must make sure that doesn't happen, Mr. Lawyer. Please, I'm begging you. Regina, darling, you put on the most splendid show for us yet again. Stage, the stars, and you in particular, my princess. It was simply divine.
That's so nice of you. I hope everybody else who watched enjoyed it too.
About that, dear. I'm afraid I have something awful to confess. There were some absences, you see. We were 3 members short.
I'm sorry, but you're saying 3 inmates didn't attend the show?
That's right, sweetie. I counted the seats myself. 1, 2, 3 no-shows. Oh, I was enjoying my chat with dear Regina so much, I almost forgot. I must feed the little one. Yikes.
What?
Alligator! You're looking as adorable as always, Allie, my sweet. She's my favorite, aren't you? Yes, you are.
I'm so jealous. Can I pet her?
Of course, princess, of course. Maybe we should, go back inside the prison and check the cells.
Yes, let's.
Sir, Miss Edgeworth, sir. I finally caught up with you.
Detective, you're not needed elsewhere?
No, the judge and the kid aren't here yet. Oh, I got your message. We struck gold, sir. Well, blood, actually. It was right there on the floor. Only in tiny specks, though, but at least it's something.
Yeah! It proves that the holding cell was the scene of the crime, right?
Not quite. It proves a possibility. It's not conclusive yet.
I thought you'd say that, sir, which is why I ordered some follow-up work. I asked forensics to analyze the blood and see if it matches the victims. They're on it as we speak. Brought my secret weapons along.
Secret weapons?
That's right, a few tools of the trade that have helped me bust more than a few cases wide open. Behold, the 7 secret weapons of Dick Gumshoe, ace detective extraordinaire. Secret weapon number 1, my trusty old metal detector. Next up, secret weapon number 2, Missile, everyone's favorite crime-fighting canine. And now for secret weapon number 3. Where'd I put it? Aha!
Am I one snap short of a school, or is that a fishing rod?
I see. Well, onwards and upwards, detective. And let's see what else you have.
That's all she wrote, sir.
Gummy! You're 4 secret weapons short of your so-called 7. And one of them was a fishing rod.
Why do you think I call him secret? I can't just go stealing everything at once. That's crazy. All right, which one do you want to try, sir?
Missile!
You got it, sir. Hey, Missile, here, boy.
Aww.
Okay. Oh, he really came!
So what are we tracking?
We're trying to find out how Mr. Canis' dog got to the holding cells in the first place. I suspect the same route was used to bring Mr. Knight's body back to the prison.
Oh, I literally only chose Missile for funsies.
Does anyone else smell something sweet? Okay, Missile, get a noseful. Here we go. Follow that dog.
That's the way to. Is there a secret passage behind all that? This is Canis' cell, but the man himself is absent, it seems.
Do you think Missile's onto something? Let's get snooping, Mr. Edgeworth. Look, Mr. Edgeworth, that chisel on the floor is a bit smaller than the others.
I'm no woodworker, but perhaps it's an all-purpose one. It can be used to the pinch, regardless of the job.
What's the matter, boy? Wait, is this cake what you were after?
Give me my cake.
Whatever it is, it's in there.
Mr. Casarato's cell. Need to take a look inside. Detective, call the guard.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, officer. A question before we begin. Is the prisoner Mr. Casarato still in solitary?
No, sir. He came back a little while ago, and he was here for the noon roll call.
Wow.
Damn, he really is into losing weight. This punching bag has certainly seen some use.
Hey, what breed were you again, Missile? Sure wasn't a boxer? Oh my god, Kay.
No way.
No way indeed. Quickly, detective, move that sandbag aside. Oh shit. A hole. Could this be?
Apparently.
Whoa there, wait, Missile.
I'm going in too!
Wait, stop! Sir, I'll go get her. Ugh, that's tight. Shouldn't have eaten that cake.
Well, I'm not going in there. Guess we'll just have to wait. Hello? Kay? Are you alright?
You're not going to believe this, but we're in the detention center.
The detention center?
That hole! It's a tunnel that leads right into Mr. Knight's cell.
What? Don't go anywhere, I'm on my way.
Sir, the floorboards under the bed were torn up.
That's how they did it. There's no doubt about it. This must be the route we've been looking for.
Mr. Sahwit was giving Monkey the black mud thingy. It then went into the tunnel and attacked Mr. Knight and then dragged him over. The dog came to inspect and see what's going on and put his mouth around his neck for some reason. I don't know.
I suspect it might not actually be the monkey. It might be that polar bear Mr. Caserato has.
The polar bear would be a little weird.
It was a sweet scent that started this whole search. Could it be that the scent was in fact coming from Knight's body after all? Knight's body was covered in dirt. But it might have been come from being dragged through this tunnel. Hey, what was it like down there?
Well, it was pitch black, so I couldn't see a whole lot. Luckily, my camera has a flash, so I took some pictures.
Look at that.
Paw prints.
This is a vital piece of evidence. However, it begs something of a question. Mr. Caserato has certainly been making use of this tunnel, which means... Detective, we need to find out where Mr. Caserato is immediately. The guards were alerted and they began searching for Mr. Caserato right away. But after a thorough investigation of both the prison and the detention center, he was nowhere to be found.
Detective, the results of the blood test just came back from the lab.
Thanks, pal.
They've identified the blood and it's Knight's.
Okay, cool. We've got Knight's blood in his holding cell, a tunnel, and a dog clearly went through. And security footage showing Knight being attacked by the dog in his cell. Case closed.
We have all the evidence we need. Let's see what Mr. Kanis has to say for himself.
He's as well connected on the outside as he is in here. The police have been trying to track down his accomplices for the longest time. Even I've had to lend them a hand myself, you know.
You borrowed evidence from the police to help with your investigation, is that correct?
Why, yes, sweetie. Everything relating to Kanis is with me now. Heaven knows how many times I've hauled the secretive scoundrel into my office to talk to me. But no matter what I say or how much evidence I present to him, he simply won't say a word.
Prison warden conducting interrogations herself. That's irregular, to say the least.
Oh God, they're here again.
Judge Gavel, I didn't expect to find you here. We have been conducting inquiries, which, given that we are in charge of the investigation, is hardly strange. What is strange is that you are still here, Mr. Edgeworth. I gave you a warning, did I not? I am sorry that you thought that I might be so easily discouraged, Your Honor, but I am not about to let the truth slip from my grasp, no matter what you or the committee might say. I am here to present a certain someone with evidence that you yourselves should have uncovered. You have more business with me, I take it, Mr. Edgeworth. I do. I promised I would be back to prove that you were the killer, and here I am.
Objection!
Oh God, this guy. Not so fast. We have some truths of our own to share. First-rate deductions, in fact.
Indeed. We are now more certain than ever that Simeon Saint was the murderer, and that only he could have moved Mr. Knight from his holding cell to the prison proper. We shall prove this to you beyond a shadow of a doubt. How Knight wound up in prison proper. You are aware of the incident involving Mr. Knight the day before yesterday, I assume? He assaulted an innocent guard and stole his keys. Later, in the middle of moving a large animal cage, Mr. Saint stopped by Mr. Knight's cell for a little visit. That's when Mr. Knight stole out of his cell using the keys he'd stolen. He slipped into the cage and there he hid as he was wheeled to one of the prison workshops. Yesterday, after you so kindly made us aware of the security camera footage, we decided to take a look at it ourselves. This is a still from the footage we received. Mr. Saint is speaking with Knight at his cell. You'll also note that he has positioned the cage in such a way to obscure the camera's view. A blind spot, which means that the camera wouldn't have been able to capture the moment Knight entered the cage, if he did at all. So it's still possible that he didn't actually leave his cell at this point. It's my belief that Mr. Saint helped Mr. Knight with his escape attempt. I understand that the cage was briefly taken to one of the workshops. I imagine that had things gone to plan, Mr. Knight would have remained in the cage until after the show, and then removed from the premises along with the rest of the circus's equipment.
Hold it!
Do you have any proof that Knight stole the keys? I can think of no other reason for him to carry out such a brutal attack. Sorry, but I believe there's a flaw in your reasoning. If Knight had the keys, there was nothing to stop him from leaving whenever he wanted. Why wait for Mr. Saint? There was no need, surely.
And it's not like he knew Mr. Saint was coming, so...
He chose the opportunity most likely to succeed. He stole the keys and hid them somewhere, and waited for an opportune moment to present itself. I'm afraid you might have made an uncharacteristic oversight, Your Honor, but Knight wasn't hiding any keys. This has been proven already. Since you know about the incident, I presume you must already know this, but after the assault, the guards searched both Knight and his cell, and no keys were found. And if the whereabouts of the keys cannot be proven, then neither can your theory. I still believe he had them.
After all, the guards only stated that they were unable to locate them. And this is because they were cleverly hidden inside the pocket chess set. Knight's chess set. The same set in which the murder weapon was also allegedly hidden. Was it? I never wonder about that.
What? But you're the one who proposed it!
Actually, if you recall, that was Eustace's assertion. Had things gone according to plan, would have been taken out of the facility after the show. But they did not. That his accomplice murdered him while the show was taking place in the yard.
Objection!
But Mr. Same was a part of that performance.
Overruled.
How indeed? Allow me to explain. As you know, many stage performers will follow a set narrative. The suspect played the role of the antagonist opposite the elephantine heroine of the show. In the latter part of the performance, the heroine's love prevails, and the villain is defeated. This victory is depicted in a very unique manner, whereby the villain is sent flying from the stage by the heroine.
What?
Okay, so they toss him, he's probably on some kind of pulley system.
I'm just now picturing, as best of my ability, just the tiger bitch slapping him. And he goes flying away.
But it's the heroine, so it's the elephant that's doing it.
He's bitch slapped by the elephant via her
trunk.
trunk. Done.
Yeah! He's sent flying by the elephant. Having been ejected from the stage in this manner, the villain no longer appears in the performance. In other words, the suspect did not appear on stage for a period of approximately 15 minutes. Committing a crime and returning to the stage in a short 15-minute window is only possible, assuming that the murder took place in the prison proper. But in fact, Your Honor, the real scene of the crime was Knight's cell. What proof do we have that the murder took place in the victim's holding cell? This appears to be a photograph of a floor. Almighty God of justice, grant me patience. That floor you did so dismiss of, Your Honor, has traces of Knight's blood on it. Traces, you say? Is this evidence reliable? I have my resources. I will enter the fact that Mr. Knight's blood was found in the holding cell into evidence. However...
Objection!
Bad luck, idiots! You're really on the edge now, Mr. Worthless. This guy.
Mr. Winner, I'd forgotten you were there. It was nice while it lasted.
I just butted in to tell you that your entire argument is one big inconsistency. You showed us camera footage of a dog killing Mr. Knight in a cell. Are you saying the mutt also wiped the blood up before it left the scene?
You'd have wiped that blood up, wouldn't you, boy? Yes, Helmut. Yes, you.
Yes, the dog actually would, I'm sure. What? I need that animation.
That was one of the tricks I taught him before our work together. Was so rudely cut short. He's a very tidy boy, you know. Never misses a drop.
My position is the same as it was yesterday. Until you can explain how the dog moved between the prison and the detention center, I cannot accept your theory into evidence.
Hold it!
I thought you might say that. That's why I'd like to show you something else.
Take that!
It's a secret passageway. It runs beneath the prison.
What? A secret passageway?
It was dug by one Mr. Rocco Carcerato, escapee. He's from his prison cell to a certain holding cell in the detention center. Yes, the very one the victim was being held. Well, this is certainly a surprise. I think that it was beneath our feet this entire time. Mr. Kanis, you knew of this tunnel, didn't you? Because it's the same tunnel that was used to carry out the murder.
Overruled!
Oh my god!
In the name of the goddess of justice! Overruled, Mr. Edgeworth! You are out of line! Evidence is everything. Whether in a court of law or the scene of an investigation. Well, it's just how it happens that I have some evidence of my own. Bronco Knight's autopsy report.
When did we get that?
How do you not know you had it?
The police handed it to me only a short while ago. Cause of death. Stab wound to the throat. And the weapon is said to be a sharp blade of some kind. It seems the victim was stabbed repeatedly in the same spot, resulting in an ugly wound. As such, the police have yet to identify the exact shape of the weapon. In light of this evidence, would you really wish to continue with your flight of fancy?
Okay, to be fair, in Metal Gear Solid 5, you can give the dog a knife and it will stab people in the neck.
Or will you now claim that the dog used a knife instead?
My point exactly.
Well, that's impossible!
No, it's not!
That will be all. This court is adjourned. But if the dog didn't kill Knight, and that takes Kanis out of the running, the goddess of justice speaks to me, Mr. Edgeworth, and she is merciful. She tells me that you might yet keep your badge. You will finally abandon this fruitless quest.
My answer remains the same, Judge Gavel. I will see my duty done, and I will not be intimidated.
If it's true that Knight was off with a bladed weapon, does the whole case really fall apart?
A bladed weapon? Of course! There were 5 chisels in Kanis' cell when we last looked. A former assassin certainly wouldn't struggle to commit murder with a tool like that. So the murder weapon was a sharp blade. And where is it? The guards didn't find it. What if I were to tell you that I now know what a real murder weapon... It was right under our noses the whole time, indeed. It was one of Mr. Kanis' chisels. But that begs the question, what exactly it was we saw in the security footage.
Oh yeah, the security footage. How do you explain that, Mr. Smarty Pants?
An excellent question. The footage shows Mr. Kanis' dog jumping up at Knight. The dog attacked Knight, but he didn't kill the man. Knight was merely knocked out. The dog didn't drag a corpse through the tunnel. He dragged an alive but unconscious Knight. The real killer was the dog's master.
And you could definitely use one of his chisels to do it.
Objection!
Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, you ever get this on your report card? Refuses to listen. Must learn to respect others.
Are you asking me or confessing on what's on yours?
We already searched Mr. Kanis' cell from top to bottom, right, Gavel?
Yes, we even inspected his chisels, all 4 of them. 4? There was a single speck of blood. Why, thank you, Your Honor. You have just confirmed my theory. I have? What exactly do you mean? The last time we were here, there were 5 chisels, not 4. Mr. Kanis, where did you hide that chisel? A pocket chisel? What use might I have for such a thing, I am barely allowed to leave my cell. You shouldn't have had the chance to dispose of the weapon. You've dug your own grave, Mr. Kanis. You seem to have an idea where this missing chisel might be, Mr. Edgeworth. Would you enlighten us? Mr. Kanis is still a prisoner, despite the comfort he enjoys. He's very loud outside of his cell. He could have given the chisel to his dog to leave somewhere, but that would have been far from ideal. We have no way of guaranteeing where it might end up. Furthermore, this room is the only place where a bladed instrument wouldn't raise an eyebrow. 4 chisels, 5 chisels. Who's counting? I am certain that the murder weapon is here, and that the reason why no one has found it yet is because it was hidden in such an ingenious manner. To enlighten us, Mr. Edgeworth, what was my ingenious plan? Is it in the dog's mouth?
Eat it?
The dog. He has made a sound today. It's in its mouth.
Oh my god.
It's in its mouth. He can use it to smuggle something in through its mouth. This guy is a genius. When we were here before, he barked and growled repeatedly. Kanis even encouraged him to do so. Your dog. He seems unusually quiet today.
Oh yeah! Unlike last time when...
Mr. Kanis, if you would be so kind as to open Helmut's mouth. Oh, come now. He hasn't barked because he's a well-behaved boy. I had to order him that too last time. If you insist. Come on, Helmut. Open up. And there we have it. A chisel that small was easy enough for a dog to...
What? A chisel in the dog? Why is there a chisel in the dog?
Our findings are as follows. Trace of blood were detected on the chisel.
Alright, so we're all on the same page here. This is our murder weapon, yeah?
The forensics evidence cannot be ignored. We have no choice but to concede that this is most likely the case. Mr. Kanis, in light of the discovery of the murder weapon, the court demands that you explain yourself. Poor Helmut. How could they suspect us? You leave me little choice. I shall simply have to share with you the truth. Perhaps you might begin by explaining what you believe my motive to have been.
Oh god, what is Simon's motive?
I never knew this Knight. I had no contact with him. No connection whatsoever. Okay, that's a blatant lie.
Objection!
You're getting sloppy, Mr. Kanis. You may have trained your dog to clean up your mess, but some things still require human touch. We found this in the victim's room. It's the record of a game of correspondence chess. What's more, the game depicted matches the game laid out on your board. What? The number of possible games has been calculated to be 10 to the power 120, and that's on the low end. A vanishingly unlikely coincidence. Well, they do say that truth is stranger than fiction. It is, as you say, a coincidence. Never imagine my correspondent was the victim, you see. And yet here we are. Helmut is as surprised as I am. Aren't you, Helmut? Yes, yes. I suppose there's nothing for it to find you tell the truth, boy? Here I was, minding my own business, when in comes Helmut, dragging a corpse of all things. I had quite a shock, not least because the murder weapon was still in the poor fellow's neck. Of course, I was not too keen on becoming a suspect, so I had Helmut take the body to the workshop. Once there, he removed the murder weapon and brought it back to me, just as I had asked. So that's what Mr. Sahwit saw.
If we're believing Kanis, then that would mean the only other person is Caserato, because he had a link there.
Yeah, and there you have it. That is about all there is to tell. I did not kill the man. At most, I'm responsible for the removal of the weapon. Oh, will that be all? Poor Hermit is growing restless.
Objection!
Sorry, but if you could entertain us for a little longer, Mr. Kanis. No offense, Palio, but I don't think you've quite told us everything. I'm sure we'd all like to know why you thought you needed to pull the chisel out in the first place.
So the mute one isn't as dumb as I thought. It was because of the bell, the one attached to the chisel, and the one around Helmut's neck. And a very distinctive design, if you will. Of course, they were something of a trademark of yours, were they not? But Yahama Kanis, the blind butcher, his appearance was always announced by the sound of bells.
Why did the blind guy decide, I'm just gonna go kill people and be an assassin?
You flatter me. Though it's been some years since you last saw one of them. You remember them well. Your knife and its attached bell were one of the pieces of evidence. Sees now a case against you. Yes, it was but one of my bells. One of only two in existence.
Just two?
Two and only two. One for my knife and one for my beloved helmet. Exquisitely crafted. Utterly unique. My ears are my guide, after all. And I must be able to use my tools. Precisely. When Helmut brought the body to my cell, I was very surprised to hear a familiar sound. Wait.
You didn't get it back.
Okay, that is surprising. At first I was sure that my knife had been used to do the deed. Someone was trying to frame him. But no, a chisel. An ordinary chisel.
How many people would have access to that?
The committee. Nonetheless, the bell would have suggested my involvement. Compounding the matter is the fact that I am the only person in this prison permitted to use such tools. It was clear that I would become the prime suspect, and so the chisel had to be removed and hidden. You need not take my word, Mr. Edgeworth. When I have it checked for fingerprints. Eustace?
Huh? Me? But I don't know how to check for prints. That's what the forensics guy in the room is for.
Get forensics, he's right over there.
Did he leave? Oh, right. Sure they have. We got him. Fingerprints. They're Mr. Knight's.
And Mr. Canis's?
Nope. Just Mr. Knight's. Oh, and forensics said there's no sign of any prints having been wiped off.
Now do you see? I have never so much as touched that chisel.
Wait, something doesn't add up. A few things, actually. What would Mr. Knights have needed a chisel for?
You can do a lot with a chisel, child. Break out of prison, for one.
All right. Then how did he get it in here? There's no way the gods would let him bring a super sharp tool in with him. Right, Mr. Edgeworth? So would Simeon have known then?
I have no idea.
Or does he just have a pocket chest with a chisel in it all the time?
Yeah, it's hard to say.
We'll go with the chest.
Usually, it wouldn't be possible to bring a metal object into the facility undetected, but we already know that the checks at one of the gates have been entirely thorough of late, namely the gate at the entrance to the detention center. Knight took advantage of this little oversight and had Mr. Saint bring him the chisel, hidden inside his pocket chest set. That does answer one of our questions. However, we still have one rather pressing problem to address, that of the security footage in which Knight is attacked by a dog. How does one explain it if Mr. Kanis was not the culprit? Court 2 finds itself wanting for a satisfactory explanation.
Wait, sir, I think I might have be time to show you another one of my secret weapons. Using secret weapon number 4, Lil Wee.
What sort of name is that, detective?
I came up with it myself, sir. Anyway, you can use it to analyze the video footage.
Wait. I don't think it's Knight. I think it's Caserato. And I think it's on the mirror we can see that. So you need to zoom in. I think it's reflected in the mirror here too. Is that a hat?
Say, doesn't look like the hats the guards wear, sir.
Have there been any reports of one of them animals attacking a guard recently?
None that I've heard of.
This may not be the guard at all. Somebody dressed as one. Perhaps this might shed a little light on the matter of the hats. Yeah, someone stole a police outfit. Could the person in the security footage perhaps be someone disguised as a guard? Someone attempt to escape without being noticed?
The guard's disguise? I guess it might work.
If the person in the footage is Knight, then the creature may not be a dog either. Wait, that's... I suspect we may have made a critical error of judgment. What we're looking at here is no dog. This is an animal is a bear.
What? So the paw prints from the photo I took?
We're not canine, but ursine.
A bear? So could that mean...
We'd assume that it was Knight in the security footage. Whoever had access to the tunnel could very well be the one who caught on camera. And who was that, Mr. Edgeworth? Would you care to tell the court who you believe this person to be? It is none other than Rocco Caserato.
the prisoner who recently escaped from this facility. I'm confident it's him because he was assigned a polar bear cub as his companion. How do you get a polar bear cub?
But the bear in the video is all black.
Indeed, and we have evidence that explains why. Recall, if you will, Mr. Frank Sahwit's testimony. While the circus performance was underway, risking one of the animals a mud pack treatment. Mr. Edgeworth, your latest association simply introduces yet another contradiction. The footage from the security camera...
Objection!
I fully understand, Your Honor, and your doubts are entirely justified. When would you expect the footage to have been recorded, Kay?
If it was taken right after he applied the mud pack treatment, it should have been around 9 a.m.
In which case, something isn't right about the footage. Mr. Sahwit said he had administered the treatment at around 9 a.m. In which case, the security footage should also show the time of around 9. However, the timestamp says 6:42 a.m. Timestamp is 3 hours off.
But why would the timestamp be wrong?
Detective, I would like you to have the security camera examined. Right away, please.
I'm back, sir. I just talked to the guards and, seems like the time codes can slip on these cameras if they lose power. They're pretty old, sir. Guess the clock stops when the power's off.
Oh, they have really old cameras. Okay. Which would mean the power was off for approximately 3 hours at some point.
That's not all, sir. You remember how Knight denied stealing the keys? And no one believed him considering, well, you know, he seemed kind of like the only suspect. Turns out that wasn't all he said. He also said he was knocked out cold just like the other guy.
Darlings! There you all are! How goes the investigation? Is there anything I can do to help things along?
Actually, there might be something we can do for you, Warden Lagarde. The escapee, Mr. Casarato, I believe he may still be on the premises. He's disguised as a guard. Here's the proof, should you need it. We recently ascertained that the person captured on this tape is our man. If I'm correct, he might even be right here in this room with us now. What?
Ow! They all look identical. Hey, Mr. Casarato would be wearing a bracelet, right?
Yes, a bracelet could easily be hidden under the sleeves of his stolen uniform. Furthermore, the doors out of the prison proper don't have those sensors that detect the bracelets installed. So if you avoid the doors with sensors, you could simply wait for an opportunity to finally make his escape.
He's one of you, isn't he? He's here right now. Look, it's Teddy!
Oh no.
How'd you change your face?
Hey, paws off! Get your miss off of me, you big palooka!
Thank you, Teddy. Very kind of you to confirm our suspicions.
Dang it, kid! It was for you, Ida!
Gods, apprehend this man!
A moment, if you will. I have some questions for our would-be escapee.
I can hardly say no now, can I?
Well, come on then. Hit me with your best shot.
Tell me what you were doing in the day of Mr. Knight's body was discovered.
So it's you guys, huh? You're the ones who found my secret getaway hole? You know how long it took me to dig that freaking thing? I had me a guard's uniform, a whole dog, and a plan in place. So I went for it on the day you found the guy. And then this little guy just had to come right after me. The sack of fur was covered in mud too. Had to go back to our cell.
You claim to have dug the tunnel just now. How exactly did you do it?
How? Used everything I could get my hands on, see? Hammers, spoons, you name it. Spent every dime I had this cockamamie fixer. And what do I get to show for it now, huh?
Do not be disheartened, friend. Tomorrow is another day. I should see what other details I can extract from him.
Hold it!
The uniform, was that from the fixer too?
Uh-huh, sure was. But get something on one of the guards.
And were you wearing it when you were crawling through the tunnel?
Nope, when I got dirt on it. I had to hold on to it until I got to the holding cell. But once I was out of there and all dressed up, opening the cell door should have been a piece of cake.
I see. I'd be grateful if you could add that to your testimony.
This is relating to the keys, right?
Yeah.
Objection!
You claim that leaving the holding cell would have been a piece of cake, as you put it.
Yeah, you got a problem with that? Cause we can make it a problem if you catch my drift.
Even once you had reached the knight's cell, you still had another door to contend with. How exactly did you plan on opening it?
Mr. Casarato, I posit that leaving the cell would have been a piece of cake only because you had the key.
I don't got no stinking key. I didn't need one. It was a piece of cake cause the door was open. I walked right out.
Objection!
Yes, I suppose the knight's cell was vacant by that point. There would have been no reason to lock it. It was indeed unlocked when I went to examine it for myself. So perhaps when you finally succeeded today, it truly was unlocked because it was after the murder. But you had attempted to escape previously. Therefore, you must have had the key to his cell on you. Without it, your escape would not have been possible. The theft of the keys was in fact perpetrated by none other than
Mr. Caserato. He's the one who attacked the guard. Not just the guard, Knight 2, all to gain possession of the guard's keys. After you stole the keys, you went back to your cell to avoid suspicion. And then you waited for the perfect moment to escape. One where the prison would be almost deserted. That's right, the moment of the show, just before the discovery of the body. Says who, huh? You got proof, genius? This ain't your win yet, nuh-uh. Knight knocked the guard out of the count, and everybody knows it. We found traces of Knight's blood on the cleanly white floor of his cell. What could possibly explain such a thing other than him having been attacked? And it was you who attacked him. You ambushed the both of them and stole the keys.
How are you punching yourself like that?
What's with you, huh? A newspaper wipe that blood up good. Ain't no way you should have found it.
So you wiped out the blood to buy yourself a little more time. You could wait for a better opportunity. Now, hand over the keys.
Right in the kiss.
What the hell? Oh, that was some animation.
Somehow Edgeworth's words can apparently work like a boxer.
Fine. You want keys? Here. I hope you choke on them.
Wait a moment. Mr. Caserato here had the keys. Your theory relies on Knight having used the keys he allegedly stole to escape his cell. Fortunately for you, we now know that the theory cannot possibly be true.
I guess this changes things up a bit, yeah? Now the only person who could have moved Knight's body is the one person who knew about the tunnel.
Wait, you got the wrong guy! I didn't do nothing!
Alright, fine, I knocked those two chumps out, and I stole the keys. But after that, I went right back to my cell and waited for my moment. Next time I went to Knight's cell, there was nobody around. I mean, nobody! Plus, his body was found in the workshop. You think I just magic my way in there or something? Indeed, you only had the key to Knight's cell. You couldn't have left your own cell back in the prison. But Mr. Kanis' dog could. It was not you, but a helmet who moved the body from your cell to the workshop. Indeed, one can easily imagine that Mr. Caserato and Mr. Kanis might have worked together.
How can you be sure, huh? Maybe there's more of them and you just don't know.
Something tells me that digging even a single tunnel was obvious enough.
You got that right. You tried scalping more than one hole in the dirt with a spoon. Lucky for me, I didn't have to dig the whole way. Somebody did a bunch of work for me.
Oh.
Went all the way from there to the well in the yard already. Even looked down the well to check it from there. It was the same tunnel, alright. I just made good on what somebody else already started.
Then what was the original tunnel for?
Ooh, or maybe the animals dug it. Like, to get water from the well or something.
Well's dry, kid. Ain't no water to be had down there. A smell. I always smell kinda nice down there.
Nice.
Gee, I don't know. Smells sorta like dessert, I guess.
Sweet scent. That sounds very familiar. Detective Kanis noticed a sweet smell when we were examining Knight's body. With the help of a police dog, we followed the scent of the body and traced its route back through the prison. And that, Mr. Caserato, was how we found your tunnel. Will that same sweet scent be what you noticed coming from the well? You mean to suggest that this is evidence of the body having been moved through the tunnel? I do. Furthermore, Mr. Caserato, you're the only person who could have done it. Nobody else had access. You have our thanks, Mr. Caserato. Truly. Now, unburden yourself. It is time. Confess your role in this tragic incident.
What? You ain't pinning this on me!
I'm glad to see that we are finally in agreement, Your Honor. No, it's someone else. Oh, if only we were, Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Caserato may have been an accomplice, but not of Mr. Kanis, no. He was working with Mr. Knight.
What is this case?
I do not believe that he moved Mr. Knight's body. Instead, I believe that he lent Mr. Knight the use of the keys he stole. What if he and Mr. Caserato had reached a certain agreement? Mr. Knight was plotting an escape from which he required a means of leaving his cell. And here was that precise means, in the form of the keys Mr. Caserato had stolen from the guard. Mr. Knight needed only to shout and alert the guards. Mr. Caserato's plans would be ruined. And so, the two struck a deal.
Lady, the only striking I do is with my fists!
My, still you deny it? Mr. Knight and Mr. Caserato unlocked his cell so that when Mr. Sane arrived, he could escape into the cage.
It was an unexpected visit.
Yeah.
How would you possibly know? Mr. Saint is Zinch. Screw it.
Mr. Sane was then able to move him into the prison proper just as planned. He was used as just as planned.
Aha! And then he took Mr. Knight into the workshop and did the dirty deed.
Were any of you listening? The scent of Knight's body proves that he was taken through the tunnel.
Overruled.
Perhaps if you would let me finish, Mr. Edgeworth. As you say, Mr. Edgeworth,
The sweet scent shows the route the body took. However, it did not enter the tunnel from Mr. Knight's cell. There's another possibility, one you seem to have overlooked. The well in the yard. Could the body not have been entered from the tunnel from there? Mr. Saint did not take the cage to the workshop. He took it outside. There, he killed Mr. Knight and threw his body down the well. Mr. Kanis' dog then dragged Mr. Knight's body here to his owner's cell from the bottom of the well.
Why? What is going on? You know, your ideas here are getting more absurd than Phoenix's. And he had some really absurd ideas.
This is getting really, really absurd. What was happening in the yard at the approximate time of the body's discovery? Ah, indeed. And so you see how it must also have been him who disposed of the body. I propose that Mr. Knight was taken to the yard, not the workshop.
And I propose that you tell us what Mr. Saint's motive was.
Yeah? Suppose that Knight's body was indeed thrown down the well. You cannot conclusively say that it was during this show. It could have happened at a different time. My sympathies, Mr. Edgeworth. But it simply could not have.
What?
Mr. Caserato was using the tunnel at around the time the show began. Mr. Caserato, did you happen to trip over a corpse while you were down there?
No. Place was clean.
In summary, the body must have been thrown down the well and moved to the workshop at some point during the show.
Ah!
May I suggest that we investigate the yard again? Very well. May the goddess of justice go with you. Warden En-Guarde, we'd like to take one more look around the yard now.
Oh, darlings! Don't you have homes of your own to go to? Visiting hours are over, I'm afraid. Tomorrow,
No, it's imperative that we investigate it right away.
Are you involved?
I think she's involved.
I think we have had quite enough excitement for one day. Don't you? Murderers? Escapees? So eventful. Come on now, darlings. Don't make me bore you with all that I am the warden, this is an order nonsense.
Warden En-Guarde is right. Mr. Edgeworth, your investigation of the yard will have to wait until tomorrow. You may keep your badge for now. The matter of your standing can wait. I bid you all good day. Here we are again. Let's hope we can find something this time that will finally reveal the truth behind it all.
Let's see here. There's a cover on it. Well, luckily, I'm a master lockpicker. Want me to do my stuff?
I think not. We'll do this investigation by the book.
Come on, don't be such a stick in the mud. Whoa, the lock's broken, and from the looks of it, it's been broken for a long time. Oh, why don't we see if Missile can help us out again? He'll be able to tell us if Mr. Knight's body was here and which way it went.
Good idea. I'll call Detective Gumshoe. Detective, I need your assistance. Come to the prison yard and bring Missile with you. I'd also like you to bring one of our witnesses. Call the Berry Big Circus and ask Miss Regina Berry to come down here with you.
Yes, sir. I'll be there before you know it.
So, what shall we do while we're waiting for Gummy? How about a quick game of hide and go seek?
Your game can wait, Kay. We need to call on one of your more practical skills. I think you know the one.
Beepity beep boop beep. That's all the data. Just gotta pump the projection power to max and dark skies of evening, when no other bird dares to take wing. One alone remains all-seeing. Now, witness the true power of a real modern-day Robin Hood. Oh, that's a new animation.
I love Kay. Kay is so good. Let's take a look at that well.
I agree. Let's run over here. Oh my god, push Kay! Isaiah, the agent elephant!
Oh, it's actually a clue.
Wait, it's an actual thing?
Apparently. A metal weight of some kind. Looks like it weighs. Projection makes it a little tricky to read. You remember how heavy it was, Kay?
Sure, it was 30 pounds. So, what do you think of all the stuff around the well was used for?
Indeed, nothing immediately strikes me as like this purpose. I'll have to ask Mr. Berry later. Or Mrs. Berry later, I mean.
Sorry, sir. I came as quick as I could.
Why are you in your outfit, Regina?
Detective, that was indeed impressively quick.
You know me, sir. Never did like to keep you waiting.
Alright, Detective, let's get started with Missile.
Hey, Missile! Over here, boy! What's the matter? Come on, boy, come on!
What's wrong with him?
Looks like you're scared of something, sir.
Oh, the alligator.
Eek!
Miss Berry, would you mind lending us a hand? Simply like an account of what the yard looked like during the show.
Here you go. This is what the yard was like during the show.
Oh wow! This is so amazing! It's like magic! The basket was empty in your recreation.
Oh yeah, but it was definitely empty in the photo I took too.
Oh, sorry. I made a mistake when I was filling you in earlier. That basket's for holding SCL's food, but on the morning of the show, all the apples that were in it had vanished. Poof! Disappearing apples. I should make a note of this.
A story of forbidden love between a tiger and an elephant. Wish I could have seen it. Wish I could have seen Simeon up there on that stage too.
Oh, he was wonderful. The way he flew off that stage.
Isn't it pretty hairy health and safety-wise having the elephant fling a guy off the stage?
Not at all. I say it's very gentle. Too gentle, in fact. When we first rehearsed it, she barely nudged him. But by the end, he was flying off that stage. Not because of Isaiah, though. Simeon had figured out some kind of trick, apparently. Isn't that amazing? Oh, I get it. He dumps the weights. A trick? You have any idea what kind of trick? Oh, me? Oh, no. It was Simeon's big thing. I wouldn't even know where to start. The trick Mr. Saint performed for his big scene. Did it have something to do with all the items we found by the well? Take another look at these items. They have not been used for this trick of Mr. Saint's.
Sounds plausible enough. Hey, I could maybe add it to the simulation.
Good idea. Please go and ask Mr. Saint for the details.
Oh, I guarantee Mr. Saint talked to, Max about doing this.
Oh, very likely.
Because he's the flying guy. Roger that. I'll be right back.
5 minutes later.
I'm back! And he told me exactly how he did it! He said he used the pulley at the top of the wall to suspend a heavy weight from a rope and lowered that down into the well. The other end of the rope went through 2 more pulleys and was tied around his body.
I see. So he used the downward pull of the weight to help him launch himself into the air. How did he make sure the weight only dropped when he wanted it to?
He used a stake to stop it, that's how.
In which case, I suppose it must have been Mr. Saint himself who pulled out the stake.
That's right, and to do that, he used a second length of rope.
Ah, okay, I can see that. Yeah, I can see that.
He tied it to the stake, and then, when he gave it a sharp tug, whee!
This is how Mr. Saint performed his trick.
So Isaiah liked him too much, won't fling him, so he goes to Max and be like, teach me to fly, master.
It would have taken some serious pull to lift him into the air like that. You haven't noticed, Detective? There's something strange about the weight we found. The problem is the number of weights. That is to say, the one weight on its own wouldn't be heavy enough. Yeah, because 30 pounds is not going to be enough to lift a man, I think. In which case, could there perhaps be some weights missing?
Sounds like a job for my safe and secret weapon, sir.
Detective, I have need of one of your secret weapons.
Roger that.
We don't want your fishing rod.
The metal detector, if you would be so kind.
Oh, jeez, I'm never gonna get to use my fishing rod.
Why would we need a fishing rod?
I don't know, it might be useful sometime. Sir, I'm picking something over here. Let's take a little look, see? Huh? Oh, these little guys in the grass.
They're the same as the weight we found by the well. It must be from Mr. Saint's trick.
I can't fall together, sir.
Somebody had several of the same weights as the one by the well.
Ah! I think nearly gave me a heart attack. Huh? It's the metal detector, sir. It's reacting to the alligator. Did the alligator swallow something?
Allie hasn't been herself lately. She wouldn't even look at the food Warden En-Guarde brought her yesterday. Oh, because she's got something metal blocking her systems, basically. She was acting as if, I don't know, so maybe she'd eaten something that didn't agree with her.
What if they used Knight as the weight, some third party, instead of the actual weights?
Yeah.
2 lengths of rope. There's only one.
Think about the two recreations. One doing the performance and the one we're looking at right now. There's a major difference between the two. Namely, one of the ropes is missing.
Oh yeah!
Where did the missing rope go? This rope was found beside Knight's body.
Wait, you mean...
Yes, it must have been the other rope used in Mr. Saint's trick. So that this rope did indeed have a weight attached to it. But it wasn't any of the iron weights we found. It can only have been Knight's body that was dropped down the well. Yes, somebody first swapped out the weights used for Mr. Saint's trick. Then Mr. Saint used the contraption to make his exit from off the stage. When he let the rope around his body loose, both the rope and Knight's body fell to the bottom of the well. From this, we can easily see why most of the weights were hidden.
Whoa there, gang! Wasn't poor old Bronco stabbed in the neck? Wouldn't there be blood everywhere, including down the well?
Oh, the killer thought of that. That's why they used this. This top was found with the body. I think it's likely that Knight's corpse was wrapped in it. Knight's body fell down the well when Mr. Saint used his contraption during the show. Therefore, it reveals nothing about where the real killer actually was, or what they were doing at the time. It's only designed to throw suspicion onto those who were not at the show. In other words, they used a well contraption to construct an alibi. Miss Berry? When exactly Mr. Saint put his contraption together? It would have been the day before the show. The night before, actually. Yes, we started getting ready for the show at around 9 p.m. And I think we finished around midnight. In which case, the killer must have switched the weights out for the body after that point. The owls in the basket were likely eaten by Isaiah. Really? That's strange. Made sure to put her cart where her trunk couldn't reach them. It was still full of apples the night before the show. Someone moved the cart. Because it blocked the door. The basket was moved the night before the circus performance. And we've deduced that the weights were switched out for the body at around the same time.
Hard to chalk that up to coincidence, huh?
Then the next question we should be asking is, why was the cart moved? I think I can hazard a guess. The cart would have been blocking that door.
Yes, miss? What can I do for you?
Guard, where's the key for this door?
Oh, the warden keeps hold of that. I'll go ask her for it.
Warden Lagarde is the only one with a key. I'm starting to think she's the culprit.
Thanks for the help!
Look at all these breakers. Let's control the electricity for the whole prison. They must have come to tamper with the switches. There was a 3-hour gap in security camera footage.
So somebody flipped the breaker it was connected to?
It seems very likely.
Woo! Oh god, you're here again. First on the scene, the early bird wins the worm. You don't even have the saying right.
Good morning, Mr. Winner.
What? You? How'd you get here before me?
Good morning, Mr. Edgeworth. I see you made an early start. Eustace, let us begin the investigation of the yard.
Okay, I'll go get some officers to help.
Hold it!
That won't be necessary. We've already finished investigating the yard and won quite the prize in the process.
One? But I'm supposed to be the winner!
Your Honor, I'd like to revisit your theory from yesterday in order to thoroughly disprove it. In the name of the goddess of justice, I will strike down your case without mercy. And when I am done, your career as a prosecutor will be over as well. My theory remains the same as when I related it to you yesterday. Mr. Casarato did not see Mr. Knight's body when he passed through the tunnel. As such, the body could only have been dropped down the well during the show. We both know the only one who could have dropped the body down there during the show is Mr. Saint. That's still your assertion. Or assertion. Can you prove it, of course? And you can prove it, of course.
Of course she can. What do you think you're up against?
What Eustace means is to say is that we received the final autopsy report just ahead of our arrival. The victim appears to have died the night before the body was discovered. The cause of death is as stated. It seems the wound is 4 inches deep.
So now you're saying that Mr. Saint entered the prison between 3 and 6 and killed the guy.
Sorry, Your Honor, but there's something else you're going to have to take into account. The well in the yard was rigged up to create a certain unique contraption. A contraption? Go on. You will recall that Mr. Saint was sent flying from the stage by the elephant. He was only able to fly through the air thanks to a weighted rope he tied around himself. Dropping the weighted end down the well allowed him to complete the trick.
Objection!
Wait, wouldn't that send him flying as soon as he set foot on the stage?
Hold it!
It's simple, really. He kept the weight from falling by using a stake to keep the rope in place. With a second rope, he was able to pull the stake free, thereby controlling when the weight was dropped. We have found evidence to suggest that the original weight was replaced with Knight's body. This was done by the real killer, in order to create an alibi. The estimated time of death tells us that the murder took place early in the morning. The killer could have tampered with the contraption in the time between the murder and the show.
Objection!
You're saying Mr. Saint himself set this contraption up, right? Well then, who do you think is the number one most likely person to have used it to dispose of a body?
If Mr. Saint was the killer, he could have simply done as Judge Gavell theorized, without these extra steps. Miss Berry, does anyone else know how Mr. Saint's trick works? We had to get the prisoner's approval on what we were going to perform, so I don't think Simeon's the only one who knows. Interesting. You have certainly been diligent in your investigation. Why do you not work to do what is right? Is what I am doing wrong?
What?
If so, who is it that deems it so? You are a prosecutor, and yet you aid the defense. This flies in the face of common sense. You're breaking every rule in the book. I think only what is right and just, and I act as I see fit in each situation I am confronted with. This is the path I have chosen, and whenever you can comprehend that choice is immaterial. Listen well, Mr. Edgeworth, but there's another reason why only Mr. Saint can be the killer. If the body was moved from the yard to the workshop, then Mr. Knight must have first been brought here to the yard from his cell. The only person who had the opportunity to do that is Simeon Saint, and thus he remains the only possible suspect.
Wait, what? What? He died between 3 and 6 a.m. What the hell are you on about, woman?
Why take such an unwieldy object all the way to the holding cell?
Yeah, it is pretty sus.
Oh,
God damn it, Gay.
It's entirely plausible that he took the cage with him out of absent-mindedness and nothing else. You're certain nobody else had the opportunity? Need I remind you that we are in a prison? The entire facility is monitored at all times. Anything out of the ordinary would have been spotted. But Mr. Same was under the same scrutiny, was he not?
Overruled.
The warden had granted the members of the circus troop special access.
Objection.
It seems you've forgotten something, Your Honor.
Overruled.
Forget is not a word in my vocabulary, Mr. Edgeworth. Very well, then recall this fact, if you will. You claim that Mr. Saint is the only person who was free to walk around the prison, but there was a brief period of time of the day of the crime in this prison. A time when it would have been possible for anyone to move through the prison entirely unmonitored. We previously established that the time code on the security footage was off by 3 hours, and from this we can deduce that there must have been a power outage lasting for that length of time, during which anyone could have moved around the prison undetected. Do you mean to say that our killer intentionally created this 3-hour gap? Is that even possible? A panel of breakers, one which can be used to cut the power to security cameras. We also learned that the door to the power room may have been open at around the time of the murder.
What?
Those breakers are vital to the prison's infrastructure, so I very much doubt that anyone could have gained access to the power room's key so easily.
Objection.
But what if it's her?
Yeah, no, but one person could have. I beg your pardon? The real culprit is... Warden En-Guarde.
Oh, just look at you! Aren't you the cutest little poochie woo?
He's not just a pretty face. Miss also has quite the nose for sweet things. It seems you're smelling something very sweet indeed. It's coming from you. Warden En-Guarde is the killer. Mr. Edgeworth, do you realize what you're saying?
Oh, such a naughty boy! How can he suspect me? I'm the one in charge around here. It's like we're in a murder mystery, aren't we?
And equally far-fetched. This is preposterous.
One of your prosecutors literally tried framing Edgeworth for murder after he killed Edgeworth's father because he got a mark on him or something. This is not that far-fetched.
Oh yeah, it's not.
Hold it.
Sadly, it is not. Although I can hardly believe it myself. But this is where the evidence points. I must trust in the evidence. Your scent betrays you, Warden. And here's your accuser. We had him track a sweet scent that was lingering around Knight's body back when it was first found. He now appears to be smelling the same scent. It's coming from you.
Oh, darling, you're priceless. Really, you are. Your evidence is a whiff of suspicion.
Perhaps we should hear what the Warden has to say for herself. Okay?
Verity told me everything she knows about the case, sweetie. The victim died in his cell, so by your logic, I would have had to kill him there. But how am I supposed to have moved the body, especially as I never went into the prison? I was too busy with work, you see. I was cooped up in my office until right before the show began. Check if you like. You won't find a record anywhere of me having entered or left the prison proper. So she never went into the prison. We can check records. But there's 2 ways to get through.
Yep.
Because there's her office and this is her garden. It stands to reason she has a key to go right through here.
Very likely.
And then she could go in here and turn the power off or something for the cameras for 3 hours.
Like, she can easily just go from her office to the yard. Sure, maybe you didn't go through the main entrance to the prison. But what if you took another route?
Oh, come now, sweetie. Surely you don't mean that awful, filthy tunnel they discovered.
No, you had another way in. I'm certain of it. Warden, you took Knight from his cell and brought him to your office, which just happens to be connected to the yard. If you had a way through the fence, then you would have been able to circumvent both the entrance and the tunnel.
A gold star for creativity, darling. And how would I have gone through the fence, It's literally something you probably have power to do with. The extremely high fence, topped with razor wire, with thousands of volts of electricity going through it. Yeah, how's she supposed to have gotten through that,
The fence's electricity supply can be cut off from the power room, and only you had the key, Warden. No, but you could have done it. Utterly ridiculous. The power room is on the prison side of the yard. Warden En-Guarde was on the detention center side. How would she even have reached the power room? But there must be some way she could have done it. No matter how you look at it, Warden En-Guarde couldn't have done it alone.
Mr. Edgeworth, if you cannot find a...
Objection!
That was a reflexive objection, but now that I've yelled it, if I don't come out with an answer, it's all over. I have one more thing to add, if you'll permit me. Something that explains how the warden could have shot off the breaker from the wrong side of the fence. She couldn't have done it alone, but what if she wasn't alone?
Oh, now we're talking. Way to flex the old gray matter, kiddo.
I believe that Warden En-Guarde had an accomplice.
Overruled.
Enough. You disappoint me, Mr. Edgeworth. The inmates of this prison are all issued with security bracelets. What if I told you the accomplice was not one of the inmates?
Or what if it was Sahwit? His bracelet was broken.
We're not the only are the bracelets worn, but even the guards surveil each other for signs of wrongdoing. The only ones who are free to roam are the animals, and they most certainly could not have operated a breaker. No, so accomplice must be human. Then who did it? Given that it cannot have been done by a prisoner or a guard. I wouldn't be so quick to rule out either, Your Honor. The fact is, there's one person, someone whose movements weren't restricted. Frank Sahwit, Warden En-Guarde's favorite inmate. Oh, that's why she praised him so much. It's strange, isn't it, Warden, that he was able to keep his broken bracelet hidden and wander free around the prison all the while? It couldn't be the case that he was permitted some sort of special leeway, could it? Mr. Edgeworth, this is pure speculation? Huh. In that case, why don't we ask Mr. Sahwit himself? I'm confident he will confirm for us that he and Mr. Warden En-Guarde were accomplices in this crime.
All right, Mr. Edgeworth, you've had your fun.
And do you still deny it, Warden En-Guarde?
No, darling, you got me. I admit it.
Warden, tell me this isn't true.
Sorry, Verity, honey. I'm afraid it is. Frankie helped me do it. As Mr. Edgeworth said, I had Frankie switch off the breaker. But we didn't kill Knight, did we? No, sweetums, no we didn't.
What? Warden, explain yourself.
I had no choice but to do as he said. Bodhihama Kanis. Can't say his name. That awful assassin. I'll never forget the day he arrived. The moment we were alone. He said this to me.
You should know that I have other dogs. Dogs are confirmed to this confined to this fine institution. Very loyal dogs. Dogs will do anything I ask of them.
He was talking about his very human cronies. And then he said one last thing.
I would recommend that you take care in how you treat me during my stay here. I wouldn't want to have to set my dogs on you or your precious family.
I had no choice. I gave him that cell. I gave him everything he asked for.
Everything? Wait, is that how you became the fixer?
Yes, darling. I obeyed his every command and smuggled in for him all the things that he wanted. Eventually, I brought dear, sweet Frankie into a little conspiracy. He agreed right away, of course, because I made things easier for him, too. Once a week, late at night, Frankie would shut off the breakers. That allowed me to go from my office into the yard without being seen by the cameras. Then I simply dropped the package down the well on the prison side and went back through the fence. Wait a second. So that is why Helma brought the body back. Because this is a weekly thing.
Oh shit, yeah, you're right.
Each one of them spritzed with a little of my perfume.
So that's what the sweet smell was.
Yes, it was a signal for Kanis's dog. When he picked up the scent, he would fetch the packages and bring them back to his master. We had to make sure Rocco was in his cell at the time, of course. Everything runs to a schedule, meals, exercise hours, that sort of thing. We knew when he wasn't there. Frankie would sneak out again early in the morning to switch the breakers back on and our work was done. Apart from fixing the time codes on the cameras, which I would do later when I got the chance.
You have shared a great deal, Warden. The Goddess of Justice will surely take your honesty into account.
The day of Knight's murder was also one of our delivery days. And so, Frankie, bless his heart, did his usual work with the breakers. But there was no package for me to deliver that day, so I didn't go out into the yard.
That's why you were interrogating Mr. Kanis over and over.
Exactly. What the hell? Wow. She looks evil.
Damn.
Exactly. I was trying to track down this horrible hench people of his. I bought everything the police had on that rotten scoundrel. I watched his every move, intercepted every letter he wrote.
His letters? I suppose you must know about his correspondence chess games too.
But no matter what I did, I couldn't turn up any clues as to who his underlings were. Living in fear like this, it's... Oh, you just can't comprehend it.
As you have just heard for yourself, Mr. Edgeworth, the words of Warden En-Guarde's confessions have cleansed her of all suspicion.
No?
Yeah, no. So there's no need to hound her any longer? I'm sorry, Your Honor, but this conversation isn't over yet. Unfortunately, her suffering under Mr. Kanis does nothing to prove her innocence in Knight's murder. And where's your evidence, Mr. Edgeworth? It's in the fact that the sweet smell of Knight's body is the exact same scent Warden En-Guarde uses to signal a delivery.
Well, that's because we've done it so many times by now that the whole world probably smells of it.
That does match the statement that Mr. Casarado provided. Words which seem to suggest that the smell had permeated the well. Then I hereby move to adjourn this session of the court. By the power vested in me, this court is adjourned. Who was that?
Come on, Judge G. Things were just getting good. I just had a quick request to make is all. As Simeon Saint's lawyer, that is. Mind if I question the witness?
Now? Amusing, but what is there left to ask?
I've got a feeling my funny bone that Thief's here has something more to tell us about the killer. Do I? Yes, indeed. See, as a major player on Team Simeon, I can spot a sympathizer when I see one. And you don't think he did it, do you? So tell us, who did?
He's trying to coax Warden En-Guarde into giving something away. Ask yourself, why would she go to all the trouble as a nice party on such an odd journey? It's because she wanted to frame Mr. Kanis. Well, Warden, you happen to testify further?
Of course! How could I refuse this silver-tongued devil? I'm simply dying to tell all, Verity, darling. Do say you'll let me.
As you wish. Court is unadjourned.
I can't believe you pulled that off, Mr. Fender. Phew, me either. Sadly, I think I just about exhausted my reserves of cool lawyer chat there. We can't follow this up now. Which means you're up to bat, Miles McSmiles. Show that you never has spirit.
Miles McSmiles!
I really don't think anyone could have done it but that dreadful man, Kanis. There's no telling what went on between him and the victim. Perhaps he simply took a disliking to him. He's certainly the type. But whatever the sordid details, it was him. He stabbed the poor man to death. And then he had his dog dispose of the body. That simply has to be what happened. How'd he get his bell?
Yeah, how did he get his bell?
I did him the most terrible disservice.
Yes, you killed him.
I suppose you could put it that way. If I weren't such a sorry excuse for a warden, this would never have happened.
I'm certain Mr. Knight is looking down and weeping tears of gratitude.
No, he's not. He's probably looking at a chessboard right now.
Hold it!
What more can you tell us about those sordid details?
Well, we all know what Kanis did for a living. I doubt the killing part gave him much trouble.
You seem keen for us to think you didn't know much about knights.
That's because I didn't, sweetie. And the victim was simply a fun target to that monster, nothing more.
No.
I expect Kanis used the chisel that was hidden in that chess set, don't you? Awful grisly business.
I see. Thank you for your thoughts. They were very helpful. Actually, I'd like to hear about them in a little more detail if you don't mind.
Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, you're making me blush. I could chat with you all day.
Hold it!
And which chess set would that be precisely?
Why, the one the victim brought in, sweetie. Do try to keep up. But the naughty boy stuck a chisel inside it. Can you imagine?
How does she know about the chisel in the chess set? Only a few people were supposed to know about that. Warden En-Guarde. You strike me as being more careful than the image you project suggests.
Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, please. Call me Fifi. Or Sweetie Pie if you prefer.
However, I think you may have been a little less careful when you realized in this instance. You said earlier that you didn't know much about knights. In which case, I find it rather strange that you know about the chisel.
Well, of course I do, darling. Do you think we don't check prisoners when they come in?
Objection!
You're not talking away out of this, Warden. That is entirely irrelevant, and you know it. That knight didn't bring the chess set into the prison himself. It was brought by Mr. Saint when he came to visit. I wouldn't have had it with him when he arrived.
I mean, of course, when Mr. Saint came in, we...
Objection!
You checked him. I find it hard to believe. Because if you did, that makes your story all the stranger. If you found the chisel, why did you not confiscate it there and then?
That's cool.
If no one leaked our findings, then how exactly did you learn about the chisel? Warden En-Guarde, where and when did you learn about the chess set? If you won't answer, then allow me. I submitted you...
Alright, darling. There's no need to rub it in. You got me, alright? I questioned Knight. That was when I learned about the chess set. But please, you have to believe me. I did not kill him.
The court requests that you make a detailed statement on the record. Any objections, Miss Edgeworth? None, Your Honor. Very well. Go ahead, Warden En-Guarde, and please, Tell the truth this time.
Are you one of those judges that allow them to lie 5 times in a row and be like, don't do it next time?
Yes, my grandfather is a very important judge.
Oh my god. I said I questioned Knight, but it wasn't anything serious, you understand. I make a point of talking to every newcomer to our little home. Knight was no different. We just had a little chat, you might call it. And after we talked, I had him taken back to his cell straight away.
It was simply a conversation with a new detainee. That seems entirely above board.
So am I right in assuming that you talked to Knight the night before the show?
Exactly, darling. It would have been, around 3 a.m. on the 27th. Who has a chat at 3 a.m.?
That is also very specific. It seems rather late for a friendly chat. Wouldn't he have been asleep?
Normally, yes, but if you remember, a god was attacked in his cell. I assure you, he was wide awake. We all were. Would you mind giving us a little more info? Like where you had him brought to? My office, of course. Where else?
Do you mind appending what you just said to your testimony?
Anything for you, darling.
What did your Knight speak about?
Oh, nothing much. Just some small talk, really. I asked him about what animals he liked, what his hobbies were.
His hobbies? Then I imagine you talked about chess.
Oh, yes. I couldn't stop him talking about it, in fact. He even had a piece of paper covered with little notes about it in his cell.
She saw the chess diagram and probably saw it matches Kanis' chessboard. Judge Gavel, I'd like you to take a look at this. Notes about a game of chess. What is the significance of this, Mr. Edgeworth? It was found in Knight's cell, which is exactly where you said you saw it too, Warden En-Guarde. But you didn't just see this game in Knight's cell, did you? You seen it in Mr. Kanis' cell too.
What do you mean?
Oh, come now. Don't tell me you haven't taken a look at the chessboard in maximum security. Imagine you watch his every move like a hawk. Personally, interrogating your own prisoners is highly irregular, to say the least. But as you said, Mr. Kanis had threatened you. You put your precious home at risk. You also told us you read his letters, which means you must have known about one key fact. You know he was playing correspondence chess.
Ah!
Then who should appear but Knight, carrying with him a diagram of a very particular game. We ourselves used the diagram to infer a connection between the two men, and it seems you came to the same conclusion. You surmised that Knight was Mr. Kanis' henchman, sent to kill you. And when you questioned Knight, you made another discovery. But there inside his chest set, you found a hidden chisel.
Why was there a hidden chisel in his chest set to begin with?
Yeah, good question.
Has nobody questioned that?
As far as you were concerned, that chisel meant one thing. Kanis. Thus, you convinced yourself that Knight was working for Kanis, and that is why you killed him. I see you have no more excuses. Judge Gavel, your verdict, please. Much it grieves me. There would appear to be little room for doubt. I hereby give my verdict. Bronco Knight was murdered by... In the name of the goddess of justice, who is it this time?
I'm evil now! You people just don't get it, do you?
I think we've proven that it's you who didn't understand things correctly.
Me? Please, darling! I understand it all perfectly well. Thank you very much. And I understand that there's a glaring contradiction in your theory. Mr. Edgeworth, what is this animation?
Look at the box! I'm curious to hear what the warden has to say.
You're a doll, Verity. I have just one last thing to say. Then Mr. Edgeworth can declare himself the winner. You rang? Hate this guy. Does anybody remember a certain autopsy report? That's right, and I was listening to what you told us about it, Verity, even if nobody else was. You said the wound was 4 inches deep.
Wait. The chisel it's not 4 inches.
Riddle me this, Mr. Edgeworth. How does a tiny chisel make a 4-inch wound?
No!
Looks like your theory is the one that doesn't hold water, Edgeworth. What now? What do we do?
It'll be fine. Mr. Interim always comes through. Right, sir?
Looks to me like the Milesatron's out of commission.
You're an attorney too, aren't you? Why don't you do something? Turn things on their head with a desperate bluff. Blot you out the first mind-blowing thing that comes to you.
Look, detective, I'm as much of a man of action as the next guy, but my hair isn't that spiky. We can't give up now. We have to do something.
I'm certain that Warden En-Guarde is the killer. It's the only explanation that fits the facts of the case. And if the chisel wasn't a murder weapon, what other bladed weapon is there in this facility? It seems we still do not have all the answers, nor the evidence to provide those answers. Alas, we must wait until the trial to see this matter resolved, I'm afraid.
Objection!
Come on, G. You're just giving the killer a chance to destroy the evidence.
Overruled.
Are you calling the judicial process into question, Mr. Fender? What is the real murder weapon, since it's clearly not the chisel?
But the bell was attached. We know as a fact the bell wouldn't have been in the chess set.
Yeah.
So that bell was deliberately put there. Would they have stored his knife here?
Found it. This question throws everything we deduced out the window. It's hopeless. I can't think of anything. Need more time. Loath as I am to admit it,
You can't give up now! Remember what Mr. Fender said. Simeon's counting on us. Without us, Remember how upset he was? He was devastated. There's no way he did it. But if we can't save him, who will? He believes in us. He's sitting in that cell waiting for us to bring him some good news. And I, for one, won't walk away until we have some.
That's it. I've been thinking about it the wrong way all this time. My theories were misguided. I was being misled. The defendant, Simeon Saint...
You can't just make him guilty here, woman.
I think it's a little soon for that, Your Honor. Mr. Edgeworth, you may proceed.
What? I'll kill you.
I'd like to remind you of a few things. The signing of his dog, Helmet, the fact that he wasn't at the show. These and other factors made Mr. Kanis the obvious suspect at first. This again, Mr. Edgeworth. You seem almost proud of your blunder.
I'm not done.
But what if the real killer wanted us to suspect Mr. Kanis? What if it was all carefully arranged? And what if the same was true of the chisel, our purported murder weapon? Knight had been stabbed multiple times in the same place with the bladed instrument. What if he was stabbed with the chisel after the real murder weapon had been removed? That was how the killer misled us into thinking the chisel is the murder weapon. But why mislead us in this way? Why indeed? Mr. Winner, if I were to tell you the murder weapon was a chisel, what would you think?
Huh? That Mr. Kanis is the killer?
And there you have it. That was a trap the warden set for us. That was a plan right from the start. To frame body harmer Kanis. Your reasoning would appear to be sound. Warden En-Guarde certainly seems to harbor a deep and abiding hatred for Mr. Kanis. That alone is not sufficient proof that Warden En-Guarde is the killer. If you cannot prove your theory, then this conversation ends here. Sally swallowed it. Not Sally, Allie. If you could find the real murder weapon...
How many times do we have to go over this? We searched the prison from top to bottom.
I can still prove my case yet, Your Honor, because it's still here inside this prison. And this would have made sure of that.
The security gate.
I'm glad you at least remember what it is. And you do remember what it does?
Of course I do. I'm not an idiot. I beg to differ on that one.
There's another murder weapon. It cannot have been taken off the premises. But nor can it have been brought into the prison in the first place. Is that if you wish to believe that there's another murder weapon here in the prison, you will also have to explain to me how it got here. How did the weapon Warden En-Guarde use to get into the prison? You borrowed evidence from the police to help with your investigation, is that correct?
They gave it to her.
Yes. Of course, that's how. So you see, there is a way for objects to be brought into the prison unscrutinized. And part of the evidence Warden En-Guarde borrowed, from the police. Mr. Kanis' knife was part of the evidence in this case against him. And the evidence was here in the prison. Not only that, the knife had a certain bell attached to it. The bell that was attached to the chisel! Correct. The killer took the bell from the knife and attached it to the chisel. She made it look as if the chisel was the murder weapon and then attached the bell to it. In so doing, she made sure that all the evidence pointed to Mr. Kanis. And who had access to the evidence from which the bell was taken? Why, only the person to whom it had been entrusted.
But bell's not exactly rare, you know. Anybody could set that up.
Objection!
Unluckily for you, that isn't quite true. These particular bells are unique, because there are only 2 of them in existence.
What? But you don't have any proof that the knife was ever even here to begin with.
Mr. Winner, I'd like you to order another search of the prison right away.
Huh? But if you do find something, that's going to make things awkward for me.
We have to find the truth. You're a prosecutor, aren't you?
Well, yeah, but, you know... Anyhow, it's not my decision to make. The warden would have to authorize it.
You know full well that he will do no such thing. You have the power to insist on a search. Use it! The goddess of justice cannot bestow her blessings on those lack the proof to support their claims.
Objection!
Wait, Your Honor. This had better be good, Mr. Edgeworth. I've got it. Got what exactly? The real murder weapon, of course. I know where Mr. Kanis' knife is.
There's no way you could. It's not here, I tell you.
Well, would you be so kind as to enlighten us? Where's the real murder weapon? Did she use the same trick? No, that's ridiculous, isn't it? But the more I think about it... Mr. Edgeworth, how long do you intend to keep us waiting? Your Honor, this is where the real murder weapon is. Here, in the yard. I don't believe I understand. Would you care to explain a little more? Where exactly is the real man with him? Over by alley. Your Honor, I'd like to remind you of this piece of evidence. The chisel. You might recall that Mr. Kanis hid his chisel in his dog's mouth. Would you believe that the real murder weapon was hidden in much the same way?
Oh, shit!
That's right, the murder weapon is hidden inside the alligator in that pond over there.
What? No way!
We detected the presence of a metallic object during our early investigation. Judge Givell, we need to know what's inside that alligator. Understood. I'm sure I could get that little sweetie to open up for us. I'd be happy to give it a try. Please, by all means.
Why is Gumshoe there?
Warden En-Guarde, the real murder weapon is about to be revealed. Why not do the right thing and confess?
I have nothing to confess!
So, we got it!
That has to be it!
It's over, Fifi En-Guarde. The real murder weapon was body hammer Canis' knife, making you the only person who could have killed Bronco Knight.
I'm not the criminal here! This is all Canis' doing! I did the right thing! Knife was a threat! He was Canis' lapdog! Curse that despicable man Canis! Why did he have to come and ruin my perfect little home? We could have been happy forever if it wasn't for him! He ruined my paradise on earth! He ruined everything! Curse him! Curse that pitiless butcher! That awful, terrible, despicable! There's something! Curse him!
Holy shit! Oh my god, they're all foxes!
Why is she wearing like a prison uniform?
That's a very good question. But her entire fur coat was living foxes?
What the hell did we just witness?
Traces of Bronco Knight's blood were found on Mr. Canis' knife. It's just as like you said, sir. Congratulations on the stunning victory.
Thank you, officer. Excellent work. You can continue complimenting me if you like.
Yes, sir. Tweener wins again. I think I'm welling up a little. With rage.
All right, officer, you're with me. You're about to see the winner win a whole lot more. Prepare to witness first-rate investigation talent in action.
Yes, sir. I'm right with you, sir. Can't wait to watch you at work.
It's winning time!
Oh my god, this kid.
Why do you put up with him?
I expect this case will cause quite a stir. The attempted murder of a president is news enough. And now his would-be assassin has been murdered. But Knight never sought to kill the president in the first place. The truth is not always as important as it might seem, Mr. Edgeworth. In the eyes of both society and the law.
How can you even say that?
As a prosecutor, Mr. Edgeworth is obliged to accept that this is the reality of the world he operates in. Being a prosecutor is about more than proving people guilty. That's what I believe. We are all free to believe as we choose. But the law is not to be toyed with for our own personal goals. If you refuse to accept this, then you must prepare to suffer the consequences.
You're still going to be a villain later, aren't you?
Oh, she totally is. I'm afraid I must be going now. Farewell, Mr. Edgeworth.
You're so a villain later, I'm sure of it.
Judge Givell is right. There must be only one set of laws for everyone.
Oh, hey, dude.
Simeon, you're out!
That didn't take long. Why'd you come from over there?
Good question. Hi, Regina. Is everything alright? They let you out, right? Yeah. But I'm so confused about what's going on. Some guy just came and said I was free to go, and that I have Mr. Edgeworth to thank.
You sure do. Mr. Edgeworth found out who the real killer is.
Wow, really? You did that for me, Mr. Edgeworth? Oh no, stop staring at me like that. Stop it, silly. It's true. He saved you. Say thanks already. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Thank you. I thought Bronco was my friend. Oh, my best friend. I trusted him. But now, well, it's just, I never knew. I never would have believed that he could have saved somebody enough to want to kill them. If he kept something like that for me, then he never really trusted me, did he? He did trust you. He had asked you to get his chess set. Mr. Saint, I think you're forgetting something. It's the chess set I brought for him? Knight had hidden a chisel inside. I imagine he meant to use it to escape. What? You mean he was using me? No, he believed in you. He knew he could count on you to bring it, and he would never be so untrusting as to look inside. I imagine that by not telling you, he was hoping he could keep you from getting caught up in this mess. Oh.
I still didn't explain why he has a chisel in his chest set.
Bronco, why didn't you tell me? I have to. For Bronco, I have to show him I've become the best animal trainer out there. That's the spirit. Oh, I almost forgot. We are doing a new show soon. I'd love for you to come, Miss Edgeworth.
Oh no, It's Maximilian Galactica!
Yeah!
Oh,
I'll be joining Regina on stage for this one.
That's right, the Berry Big Circus is the biggest, most fabulous event in town. You'll have oodles of fun.
Sounds great, doesn't it, Mr. Edgeworth? Come on, we have to go.
Well, I'll think about it.
Well, that was really something, Smiles. Talk about pulling it out of the bag.
I couldn't have done it without you, Fender. Without your timely intervention, she would have gotten away. Besides, I have you to thank for even being able to investigate the case in the first place.
Oh, stop it. Pat me on the back any harder and you're gonna make me blush. Or topple over.
I suppose it would be asking too much for you to take this seriously.
Seriously? Miles, my friend. I'm always serious. Anyway, how does it feel to save an innocent client? That's what it means to be an attorney, after all. Gotta say, I had a blast. Remind me of the good old days. Like Gregory was standing there right beside me. Ha! It's been like a zillion years since I felt this warm and fuzzy on the job.
That's good? Bittersweet? I'm not sure.
Say, Miles, you ever thought about going into the defense game full time?
Excuse me?
Hey, pal, don't get any big ideas. Miss Edgeworth ain't about to switch sides.
Why not? Coming over to the light side's all the rage. Everyone's doing it these days. Come on, Mr. Fender. You know it's not about that. I can't possibly be associated with somebody on the light side. Chill, team, chill. Don't get it twisted. I was just asking a perfectly innocent question. No, you weren't.
Heck you were.
I'm serious. Remember that Godot fellow? He was a defense attorney originally, but, you know, he went prosecutor.
Yeah?
Well, I've said my piece. You change your mind, you know who to call. Ghostbusters.
Oh, we'll be seeing him again.
Oh, hell yeah. He's cool.
Follow in my father's footsteps? Would I really do such a thing?
Gregory?
An attorney like my father? Me?
Is the next episode gonna be as Gregory?